My name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
Hi, I'm Karen Murdoch. I've been teaching at Unity for 23 years. Now I teach pre-K 4. They are excited about learning. The excitement in their eyes is just unbelievable. Some of them need the hands-on. Some of them just like to work problems out. Some of them even have that critical thinking at this age, and we develop that. We talk a lot about the Bible in our classroom. A lot of books you read, you can bring out the biblical worldview. Even for these little ones, they know there's one God and three parts to God. When I was teaching sorting, I taught them that God sorted the world into sections. He made the land and the oceans and the animals. That's how I teach, a biblical worldview. Unless they have a Bible-based foundation, they're not going to succeed in life. They might succeed in the world, but they won't really succeed in knowing Christ. And the most important thing is to pray for these kids. Pray that they will grow up and learn biblical characteristics and Bible character. Even when we are talking to kids about maybe they've done something that they shouldn't have done, we share Christ. And the main thing is we ask them, how do you think that the Lord Jesus would feel right now if you and they're able to tell you. And it's amazing how these kids learn verses, and that's the main thing I care about teaching them is their Bible. Because I love it here. This place it's not just a school, it's a family. I love the students. God just put it in my heart, and I was just born to teach. I believe that. I believe that there's no greater calling. I could go on and on about how Unity was there in my life when my son had liver disease, and Unity was just here. Supporting in every way. And they, not just me, but they do it for everybody. Everyone that has any kind of situation. It's unbelievable. It's more than just a school. It is a family, a true family. People ask me when I'm going to retire, and I don't know if I'm ever going to retire. I have a prayer book, and I put that group of students in my book, and every month I pray for a group of students that I have taught, and I will until the day I go to be with the Lord.
The Gold Scholarship was created by state law. It is an opportunity for individuals and businesses to tell the state where they want their tax dollars to go and what they want to support. And then the Gold Scholarship Program funds financial aid for lower income students to attend a private school in the state of Georgia.
Mine is Vanna Elise Cochran, nickname Sunlight. My middle name means consecrated to God.
Educational and academic-wise, she is far superior. And so we went to several other schools trying to figure out where we needed to send her. Unity has provided not just a foundation, but a covering for her to be able to grow and prosper.
So for students, it's helpful in that it provides financial assistance to pay tuition or fees or anything like that.
Your Gold Scholarship funds are not a handout, they're a hand up. It lifts kids up to a place where they may not have had the potential to go before. She is dyslexic. She does have dyslexia. It's not because it was missed by the school. It was because she was so intelligent, she hid it. And we were able to find someone through the resources that she provided that was able to test her, immediately find what she needs, and get her the resources that were available. And it was just immediate.
So it really opens up the door of opportunity for students to receive an excellent education.
I would ask first, what do you want for your child? It has definitely provided ease when it comes to making sure that our children are able to get what they needed through education here at Unity.
I thank you for letting me be at Unity because I love this school. It helped me with a lot of stuff of talking and just having a lot of creativity and imagination and music.
Thank you so much for your generosity and your contributions to the Gold Scholarship Program.
Get ready to slam dunk into local high school basketball action with Northwest Georgia Media. From the regular season to the playoffs, we've got you covered. Don't miss a single game. Catch all the excitement live and in high definition. Follow us on X and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Northwest Georgia Media, your home for high school hoops. Let the games begin.
It's game week for the Unity Lions, which means it's time to talk all things Lions football with head coach David Humphreys, presented by Unity Christian School. Now here's WLAQ Sports' Matt Davis and Coach Humphreys.
That's a nice touch at the end.
It's good. That's good. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'm so glad that we're back here for another edition of the Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with Coach David Humphreys. And the reason I say that is because the reason we have a show is because y'all got another game coming up this weekend, and it's a big one.
Yeah, Matt, I tell you what, thank you first for having me. But, yeah, we're excited getting to play in another state championship. I think this is 4 in a row. And man, what a blessing it's been. And the kids played really well last Friday night and got us a big win against Harvester. And so we're ready to move on down to Lafayette Christian.
Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Not Lafayette.
That's right.
was
I know.
established.
I know we were kind of laughing. I've caught myself several times, but yeah, it's Lafayette Christian out of Lagrange, Georgia, which that's who we opened with this year.
Well, absolutely. And we're going to dive into that coming up in just a little bit. And I appreciate you right out the gate clarifying that for me, because I've kind of debated that throughout the week.
Yeah,
is
sure.
it Lafayette or is it Lafayette?
Sure.
So anyway, thanks for the assist on that one. Well, let's talk about last week's game, Coach. Of course, you guys were dominant in your semifinal matchup. 60-14 was the final score over HCA Hawks. Another game where really it seemed like the tone was set with your defense, making some big plays there and things of that nature, creating turnovers, wreaking havoc, that sort of thing. So what stood out to you most about the way that your team played last Friday?
Well, it's really funny that you bring it up that way, because during the game, my level of anxiety was through the ceiling, and I finally realized what the situation was that, offensively, we only ran 27 plays in the entire game and scored 60 points, but we played 72 plays on defense. And it was just because we were scoring, pretty quickly. Defensively, our guys really got after them. Some big tackles, like you said. Turnovers were huge for us. I think Dreo had 2 interceptions. We had William Wilson had a big one for us. And then we had a scoop and score fumble. Elliott Whiteside took it in from like 55 and scored on a scoop and score. So, defensively, that's the thing we talked about last week, is that, our guys are going to play hard, they're going to play fast, and when they get there, they're going to try to separate you from the ball. And I think we did a nice job of that Friday night.
Well, I should have said before I asked that question, congratulations on the win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I know it was an awesome opportunity to get to play in that game
Sure.
and to advance to the next round
Right.
and play for a championship this week, like you mentioned. And speaking of that, with a championship opportunity coming up quickly, I would imagine the transition from the celebrating part of that, the celebration, the win, to get back into preparation mode, that had to happen kind of quickly.
Yeah.
You do want to take the opportunity to kind of savor a victory.
Sure.
But then when you got another game looming, you got to get back to work. So what was that process, for you guys in terms of celebrating and then kind of getting back to preparing for the next
Well,
game?
we actually talked about that on the field Friday night. I told them, you've got till Sunday to enjoy this. And then starting on Sunday, we're going to start focusing on the next one, because the next one's the one that we've been shooting for. And, I think the other thing to that, Matt, is that, we talk a lot with our team and coaches about opportunities, that all we're given is opportunities, and that's kind of been my cry forever, just give me an opportunity to prove I'm a somebody instead of a nobody. I don't want anything given other than the opportunity. And like I told the guys, I said, you've been given the opportunity. Now, what are you going to do with it? And I think that's a challenge to all of us, don't want to be given it. I just want the opportunity to prove it. So, and I think we've gone to work this week and done a nice job preparing that way. But, to be honest with you, our guys have kind of done that all year. They've really done a nice job in preparation.
Well, I would imagine, Coach, at this point of the season, there can be somewhat of a balancing act in terms of getting ready for a game, making sure that you stay sharp, get the right preparation in, but at the same time, making sure that guys are available once you get to the game time. So how do you balance that in terms of making sure you put the right work in, but at the same time keeping guys loose, and then also just making sure that they're healthy and ready to go on Saturday?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I think that's probably the juggling act that all coaches work with, is trying to figure that out. I think for us, is that, we have an expectation of work at our place, and meaning that we're going to go out each and every day and we're going to practice a certain way. But I know we'll talk about this, our game's going to be on a Saturday, so it's going to be one day longer. So we want to think about that a little bit. But the other thing is, I don't want to overthink it. I think sometimes as coaches, we can overthink and create, a paralysis of analysis, basically. And so I think our coaches have done a nice job with that, not creating a bunch of brand new plays and all this other stuff. I said, no, we're going right back to who we are, what's got us here. And, if you saw the game at all Friday night, you saw us be very methodical, even though it was only 27 plays. But what we ran is what we've run since day one. We didn't do anything special. And just trying to let our guys, feel that sense. The other thing is that, I talk all the time to our guys about being able to flick the switch, turning the switch on, turning the switch off. And I work with them with that from day one. And the way we do that is through practice. There's times in which we're joking and laughing and having a good time. and there's a time in which we get laser focused and there is no cutting up. And that's a learning process. That's not real easy to do. And our guys have done a nice job of knowing whenever we tell them, hey, it's time to focus, let's get focused. And I think as long as we give them that expectation, they've seemed to have met it all year that way, and really not had a problem like I've had with other teams in the past, not being able to kind of right the ship once they kind of go off kilter. So, kudos to our guys for being able to do that.
And to kind of elaborate on that, Coach, why is it that you feel like it's so important that they've got to be able to know how to flip that switch at different times?
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the secrets to, I don't want to say having fun, but an enjoyable experience in practice. You got to be able to know when there's times in practice when you can walk up and cut up with a kid or have a joke or let two kids cut up. I just don't want to be cracking a whip all the time. I want them to enjoy what they're doing because we spend a whole lot of time, I think, today's practice will be the 80th practice.
Wow.
All right, of the season. And so, I tell them that the memories that they're going to have is not going to be the score of a football game. It's going to be those crazy things that happened at practice, the things that happen on the bus, the things that happen on the sideline. Those will be the things that they'll remember. Not maybe a player or two here or there. The score will not be that important, but it's just those times that they get to be with each other and spend that and create those relationships that they'll hopefully carry for the rest of their life.
It's funny that you mentioned that, and I'll relate that to what we do, broadcasting games. But like people sometimes will ask you, well, what's the greatest game you ever broadcast or something like that? And usually my mind goes to the crazy setups that we have in different high schools and things like that,
right.
Whether we broadcast on top of a scissor lift, swaying back and forth in 20-degree weather or whatever the case may be. And to your point on that, it's those kind of memories and being together with the people that you're working with that really stand out. They really do.
Absolutely. I know what was it last Monday, we was out there and it was, 33 degrees or whatever. And I may have mentioned this, but we were doing some goal line offense and we threw a couple of slants to Dreo and he dropped them, which Dreo don't drop them. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I can't feel my hands. I can't feel my hands. And I'm like, I don't care. Catch football, but it's things like that for me, when I go back as a coach, I remember those moments, in a practice or something like that on the sideline, but very rarely, I can remember some plays and stuff, but that's not as impactful as those moments.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things I wanted to make sure that we do here in this first segment of the program is to talk specifically about your seniors. Because no matter what the result of the game coming up this weekend, whether you're hoisting a trophy or whatever the case may be, this is the end of the road for them as Unity Lions as far as suiting up, putting on the helmet, wearing it with pride,
that's right.
Being out there with their buddies and that sort of thing. And so I know that's got to be bittersweet in a lot of ways. So I thought maybe we could spend a few minutes and have you say a few words about your family.
Well, to that point, we started probably on practice one telling them that this is the last first and that you were going to be going through a lot of last first this year as seniors. The guys that come to mind, I'll give you all of them, but, Elliot Whiteside, who's been our center, been a starter for us for 4 years, actually been with us for 5 because he had to come in because of injury when we went to the playoffs 5 years ago. Just been a guy who has been just awesome. He's that guy that can flip the switch. We can have a good time and cut up, and then he can lock in. And he's actually one of the guys that I turn to whenever I know the team needs to get locked in. And, he's a senior, and hopefully he'll get to go play on his career. I know he wants to. He's gotten some attention, and deservingly so. And so hopefully he gets to go on and continue playing football. Davis Blankenship is another one. Davis is a guy that I can go through and talk about his transitions that he had just physically. And then, of course, this year he started the season and kind of had some health issues and missed 4 or 5 games. I know that was really tough on him, but he has come back and done a great job. And he's another one that, he's on. I've got him on my phone, and there's 3 of them, and I'll text him, and hey, I'll tell him what the uniform of the day is, or if there's something I need addressed, I let those guys address it first before I address it with the team because they've earned the role of leadership. So just a great guy and a guy that I love, being around. Dreo Sawyer, We were looking at a picture from him 5 years ago whenever he came from the Bahamas, and he looked like a little elementary school kid. Now here's this kid that is becoming probably the most dominant receiver that we have in the league. He needs to go play at the next level. He can play at the next level. And I'm excited for him. And to see what he did over the last year and a half, his focus and his maturity has just been unreal. Not to even speak about his academics. What he has done, where he came from 5 years ago academically to where he is today is night and day, and it's a tribute to him and, the Giddings, who is his host family. I'm just so proud of him. Landon Groover, he's our right guard. Landon is somebody who has played with us now for a couple of years. And just done a really good job this year, solid player. He was a guy that we had a question mark on, actually even last year, and he has stood up and with the test of time and just done a great job. And so very proud of Landon. And I know these guys, they're all thick as thieves. They all hang out together. Wyatt Crowley is another one. Wyatt is the guy who came to us last year, had never played the game. He's a big old lineman. He gets in a little bit, but man, Wyatt is kind of like the comic relief within the team. He's up for anything. You never know what's going to happen with him. And just a joy. I mean, he's that guy you look at on the field and you just start smiling, because you're just not really sure what's going to happen. And so just pleased to him. And then, I don't know, one of the unsung heroes of our defense is Joel Sims. Joel plays, he's a defensive tackle, but he's the guy when Davis was sick, got to come in, and he started at left guard for us on offense, and then played every snap on defense and was pulling double duty. And the guy has got a huge motor and just absolutely reigns havoc. Matter of fact, he's the one that made the hit on the quarterback, in which Elliott scooped and scored the other night in the game. And he was just on him so fast, and the kid had no place to go. But that's just his motor. And he is just a joy. When he is one, I wish I'd had more time with him because I've only had him for 2 years. But this year's been a special year. So those are my 6 guys. And, like I said, once they're aligned, they're always aligned. They always have a home wherever I'm at. And to this day, we'll be on the field, and every now and then I'll look back and I'll see some of the guys from the prior years, and they know they're always welcome on our sideline. So, hey, we got one more game with them. We're going to enjoy it.
That's exciting, Coach. Well, thank you for taking some time here to recognize your seniors. We're up against our first break, so we'll take that.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll jump into some more topics a little bit later on in the show. In the third segment of the show, we're going to talk all about your opponent coming up this week and a championship game. So this is the Unity Christian Lions Football Coaches Show with Coach David Humphreys, championship game edition. Feels good to be able to say that.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's absolutely.
It's exciting stuff. Well, we've got more. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Glad to have you with us on the program.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
And welcome back in, everybody. This is the Unity Christian School Lions High School Football Coaches Show, and we're talking about a championship game coming up on Saturday, and that's going to be at Northgate High School, which is in Newnan, Georgia.
Newnan,
correct?
that's correct.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So about a maybe 2 hour drive.
2
maybe not
hours,
quite
yeah.
that.
That's exactly what we're estimating.
And it's going to be a 5 o'clock kickoff.
Kickoff, that's correct.
So it's going to be a little bit earlier, and people can go down to the game and then maybe have some dinner and get home before you normally do.
That's
in
right.
That type of situation.
That's right.
So excited about it. But one of the things I wanted to talk about in our opening segment here, Coach, is just 9-man football in general, because obviously you probably have some people that will be going on a Saturday to the game that maybe have not been to a 9-man football game, or if they can't make it to the game, perhaps they'll tune into the live stream or listen on the radio or whatever. And I might be asking this for myself because I haven't seen a lot of 9-man football. But how would you describe the differences in the game to somebody that's never seen this brand of football before?
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, offensively, if you just kind of think about removing the 2 offensive tackles, then that's going to help you from an offensive standpoint. From a defensive standpoint, the best way I can say is you're taking away a defensive lineman, and you're probably taking away an outside linebacker. That's what you're doing. And so because of that, there's some nuances to the game that's tough. First of all, we're playing on 100-yard and 53 1/3 yards wide. So there's more space. There's less players. So that means that, like I think we talked about last week, a missed tackle or broke tackle leads to a first down or a touchdown. Because you just have the field is so spread out, and we use the field a lot, obviously. We're a jet sweep team. We want to get outside, and we got outside last Friday night, and there's a lot of room out there, and all of a sudden now you're a lot of one-on-one with us. Our game is a whole lot of one-on-one, and we look at matchups, and I think that's one of the things that makes us so hard is that, we've got basically 5 receivers that can stretch the field on a team. And, in the past, we were lucky if we had 2, and so we try to find those matchups. From a running game standpoint, I think I mentioned this also, is that, our running back for us is more of a glorified blocker, more of an H-back, a power back. He's not carrying the ball much. Our real running back are our 2 slot guys. And because you'll see us with a lot of motion. We do a lot of shifting, trying to get defenses to miss a line. I'm a big numbers counter, and I start trying to find out where do I have numbers on people. And then, from a defensive standpoint, you have to make some decisions. If you're going to stop the run, you got to be a man coverage. But if you're going to be a man coverage, guess what? You're also going to pay the price for them throwing over the top of you. If you play zone coverage, you can't hardly stop the run because you're taking a man out of the box. So you got to pick your poison, and that's what we try to do. I think I told you that, we try to be a very aggressive defense. We know that if we set back and give you time to throw the ball, that we're going to be in trouble because we're having to cover all this field. So yeah, we're going to press the issue on defense, and the same thing on offense. We're going to make you defend 53 1/3 wide. So it's, for me, I was in the run and shoot many, many years ago, and that was the whole idea behind the run and shoot, was that it was horizontal. That it's not the 100-yard field, it's the 53 yards wide that you got to deal with. And so that's what we try to do. So don't know if that really answers it.
It does, 100%.
But you'll see what you think to be a lot bigger holes for running backs and stuff to go through, and it may be because all it takes is 1 or 2 blocks, and all of a sudden now you've got major space.
Absolutely. Well, I'm super excited to get to watch this game. And I do want to mention this. I was looking at the homepage for the Georgia Association of Private and Parochial Schools, which is the league that y'all play in. And when you go to the homepage, there's a quote on there, and it basically says, supporting Georgia's private and parochial schools through Christ-centered values, competitive excellence, and commitment to growth and character. So the question is, how do you and your staff approach that aspect of that statement there in terms of helping develop good young men in addition to really solid football players? I know that's something y'all put a tremendous amount of emphasis on.
Well, that's the most important thing for us. And, with me, I would think that if you ask our guys, we every day I pray, we pray as a football team. And it would be very hard for you to find a time when I did not thank the Lord for the abilities that he's given each one of our young people. Because I realize that not everybody's given those abilities. And so we want to make sure that we honor the abilities that he's given us by maximizing them, not just living life and taking them and not putting anything into it, but taking what he's given us and taking and making I think that's one of the callings that he has for our life. And so that's how we approach it at Unity. We say we're going to take the abilities that he's given you, and we're going to maximize them. And we're not going to be apologetic. We're going to train you to be the very, very best you can be. I mean, I say it all the time. I want my defense, I want our defense to be extremely violent, to be very physical, and to be extremely humble. And I think that's the best way for us to say it, because this is a collision sport. This is a sport in which you're really trying to break the will of the person across from you. I mean, that's what you're doing on every single play. And, for us, I laugh at times. I say, I'm a little bit of an Old Testament Christian when it comes to football, and I mean that because I want our guys, when they look back, to know that they've given everything, whatever it is that they've given. Or that they've had, and that in doing so, then we can live with the results. I think that it's a travesty, whenever you have a group of kids and you don't try to get the very best out of them. I think there's two types of coaches. I think there's dream makers and there's dream stealers. And, a dream maker is a guy who's going to spend time within each one of the players. And a dream stealer is a guy who wants the hat, that wants to wear the hat. And I've never been that guy.
Love it, man. So, of course, one of the things we talked about last week, Coach, was the fan support that you guys have had, the enthusiasm for the fan base, how excited they are. And obviously, as you move through the playoffs and you find yourself in a championship game type situation, that's elevated. There's no question about that. So I know there has to be a lot of excitement around campus and that sorts of things. Sure. Maybe a pep rally. So what has that been like in terms of the atmosphere just at school in general this week?
Well, I think that, with the kids, that there's obviously a lot of excitement. You just see everybody kind of walking on their tiptoes a little bit. And what I mean by that is they're excited. They're a little bit of a bounce to their step. A matter of fact, I mean, our school's already transitioning into some basketball. We've had basketball games, and we've had the football stuff going on. And last Friday we had the pep rally, and kids being really excited. One of the things that's kind of funny that you bring that up is that actually last year was the first time when I need headsets. I can't hear because it's gotten so loud. And with us playing at Coosa, it's really gotten loud to where it's really hard for us to communicate. So I think that will be the next transition. I'll have to go back to I hadn't had to wear headsets in a while, but I think we're going to have to, just so we can communicate as coaches. And that's a tribute to the fans and everything. And our crowds have been amazing, and we are so thankful for them. And I think that word's getting out about the product that we're putting on the field. We're just excited for that. So yeah, I think it just it's a multiplier. Success breeds success, and the thing about football is that it's really one of the first sports of the year, and so it can really set the tone of the student body in the school, and so we've been blessed.
Well, Coach, we're almost at our next break, but I do have one more question. Okay. And then, of course, the next segment, we're going to talk about your opponent pretty much for the entire last segment and talk about this game. But, obviously this is a different game day. We mentioned earlier that you're playing on a Saturday afternoon, kind of late in the afternoon at 5 o'clock. It's at Northgate High School, which is in Newnan. So obviously there's a bus trip involved of a couple hours, sort of different logistics that go into a game like this. So how do you manage the sort of differences and things like that and getting ready for a game like this to kind of keep things uniform and in rhythm and that sort of thing? So it's familiar to your guys and kind of be prepared to go into a different setting, a different day.
Yeah, I think that's another great question. And, it really started last Saturday. Myself and Phil Wood, we met just to talk about what this week was going to look like. And the first thing that we decided was that Monday through Wednesday was going to be the same. We weren't going to do anything. But because we've added a day, normally Thursday is kind of a walkthrough day. Well, so now we've added another pad day. We're going to let the guys hit a little bit. But I think we're gonna get up. We're gonna bring the kids in. I think one of the challenges that you have when you play like on a day when you don't have school is that our players are used to going to school all day long before they play a game, and what you don't want them is laying around in bed all day long. So we're going to get up at 9 o'clock. I think we're going to take the whole team to the Optimus Pancake Breakfast, and we're going to take the whole team, let them do that. We're going to bring them back. We're going to put in a movie. Let them watch a movie, but they're not going to just lay around. And then we'll do a little bit of a walkthrough, and we'll probably load the buses and be out of here by 12:45. But what I do is I actually take the schedule that we have for pregame, and I just start backing it up, and I just apply the time as far as that goes. We know how much time we would like to be on a campus prior to the game, and so whatever it tells us, then that's what time we leave.
It's so funny that you mentioned the Optimist Club pancake breakfast, because literally as I was asking that question, I was kind of in the back of my mind thinking, I know what I'm going to do before I go down there and broadcast the game. I'm going to get up and go get some pancakes at the pancake breakfast.
That's
I got
right.
some tickets sitting on my desk, so I'll probably see you guys up there.
Absolutely. We're loading the bus and taking everybody over.
That's cool. Well, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, it's going to be all about talking about the game and kind of breaking down the opponent. So that's coming up after these messages. We're going to talk about the Lafayette Christian Cougars. When we come back, that's who Unity is playing in the state championship game coming up on Saturday. We'll be right back. We're hanging out with Coach David Humphreys, head coach of the Unity Lions, on the Coaches Show. We'll be back.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
And we welcome you back into the Unity Christian School Lions High School Football Coaches Show. And we've got Coach David Humphreys here with us for one more segment. We're going to dive into the game, Coach, and looking forward to our conversation here about your opponent. But you guys are set to face the Lafayette Christian Cougars in the GAPPS AA 9-man football state championship game coming up on Saturday. And first of all, Coach, just generally speaking, I mean, I know you guys are super excited about being in this game, and obviously it's been a situation y'all been in a lot, as you referenced earlier, but what does it mean to your team to be in this situation again?
Well, I think it goes back to, the goals that you set at the beginning of the year. And the goals that we set is just to have the opportunity to play for one of these. And so we're here. We attained that, and now, like I told him, I said, actually a couple of weeks ago, I said, look, you're one of 6 teams. Why not be the one? Let's be the one. And then last week, you're one of 4 teams. Why not be one of the 2? Now it's there's 2 teams left. Let's be the one. And but I know this, that Coach Pike, he's the head coach down there and has been there with them, done a great job, and his team will be ready to play. And when you watch film on them, man, you just see them getting better. But I think they'd have to say the same thing about us as well. So, for our kids, for us to paint a picture for them at the first of the year. And I tell them that. I said, the one thing about playing at Unity is that you're going to have an opportunity to play for championships. And, because the people that we have there and the kids that we've been attracting, just second to none. And we're extremely excited about that. And it's just it's a way in which it's kind of a payback for all the hard work for the kids.
Well, Coach, let's start to dive in to talk about the opponent a little bit. This is a team you're familiar with.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's interesting about how the season would shake out, it's kind of like bookends, because you guys played them at the beginning of the year, won that game 20-0, and then now you play them in the very last possible game of the year for a rematch. And so what can you tell us about this Cougar squad? You mentioned that they've gotten better throughout the season, but what do you see as their major strength?
Well, obviously we thought going into week 1 that they potentially were going to be the best team that we were going to face all year. And it was very nerve-wracking to us because obviously starting the first game with a brand new quarterback, there was a whole lot of nerves, and we, defense did a nice job, and we did a nice job and came out on top. But their defense is one that's going to get after you. They look very similar to us. They have a few players that will just really get at their defensive front will push the line of scrimmage on you. Linebacker is a guy that will absolutely run right through the middle of you. They're a lot like us. They play kind of what we call a 4-1 look with man coverage, some zone coverage behind it. It creates some problems for us for sure. Offensively is the mystery because their quarterback, I think I've got Childry. He was a sophomore. He got hurt a couple weeks ago, and we saw him on the sideline last week. He did not play, so they had a different quarterback in, who was a freshman who did a nice job. But they've changed offenses. When we saw him, however many months ago, they were pretty much in a spread offense trying to throw the ball around. Now they've gone more to a 3-back look, a dead T, and running the ball right at you. And so we don't know which one they're going to show up with. And they were doing this with the quarterback that got hurt a little bit, but number 6, Childry, he can throw the football. He can get outside of you and he can throw the ball down the field. The kid that came in is a guy by the name of Lawson Carroll. He's a freshman. It looked like they were trying to limit how much throwing he had to do, which I totally understand. A freshman starting his first game against Pinecrest, I totally understand that. So we really don't know. We don't know what we're going to face, so we've kind of prepared for both. But we know this much, is that this is a team that is very focused on wanting a rematch. And I told our guys, I said, look, I never try to look at any one team. We just believe on playing whoever the next team is. I saw where they were talking about, well, we've been waiting on this, and us, we're like, we just wait on the next game. We don't care who we're playing. And I expect a very hard-fought battle. I expect a team that's going to come out extremely motivated, but I expect our guys to be just as well.
And Coach, that was kind of going to be my next question, because obviously with the Cougar situation, playing out at the beginning of the season, then reeling off 10 straight wins and getting that opportunity again, there's no doubt that's going to be a rallying cry that they want revenge in this type of situation. So, and you've kind of explained this a little bit, but elaborate on, as your role as a head coach and your coaching staff, of just kind of keeping the main thing, so to speak, and not getting caught up in things like that.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, last week I think was kind of a big turning point for me, because we were going into the second round playoff game, and we'd had some other stuff that we were looking at, and I finally said, no, we're going back to who we are. Now, one of the issues is that we played them 3 months ago. A whole season has been played. We're two totally different football teams in a lot of ways. The attitudes are the same, but what we're doing, probably we probably look at each other and go, oh, okay, they're doing this a little different, this a little different. So we go back and look at it for a personnel issue, but not really from a scheme standpoint per se. We're looking at what they've done the last couple of games, and that's what I've done with the guys. Matt, if you're ever on the field with me, the one thing that you'll never hear me talk about is our opponent. I just don't talk about them. I mean, we talk the X's and O's part of it, but I don't let anybody. We don't get hyper focused on any one thing. I'm not one that believes in defending the things that they might do. I only want to defend the things that they do, and then we're going to adjust the other stuff. Offensively, we're going to do the things that we do, and we're not going to deviate because of what somebody else does. And maybe somewhere in there's some comfort, there's some stability that our players see. That, hey, coach is not panicking, the coaches are not, but we're out here doing everything that we've done since day one for the most part. And because of that, obviously they're confident in what we're doing, and so that helps us be confident.
Well, Coach, basically one last question as we get ready to wind down our conversation today ahead of the championship game coming up on Saturday. But, what are the things that you must do for the Lions to give themselves the best opportunity to be the last team standing at the end of the year and be hoisting that trophy at the end of the game? What are the keys to the game, the way you see it?
Well, I think the first one is obviously the turnover battle. I mean, we have been very stingy this year. Obviously, last week I was part of that, and I think now we're up like plus 24 on the year. But this is another game. This is a whole new game. But, all we can do is look at what we've done in the past and say, okay, that's kind of our rhythm. But if we can keep away from the turnovers, and then from a defensive standpoint, because of the formational stuff that they do, we have to make sure we're communicating. If our defense gets quiet, we're going to be in trouble. But so they got to keep talking. So we're calling out receivers, because I think we talked about this, is that in our game, numbers mean nothing. So you're not an eligible or ineligible receiver because of your number. It's because of, are you on the line or off the line? And so our guys have to pay very close attention to that. And then, like I said, from an offensive standpoint, win the line of scrimmage. I expect us to do that, but we have to go out and do that because they will be extremely motivated. They're a very good football team. It's going to be a very physical football team, and it will probably be a little bit of a game of attrition.
Well, Coach, as we get ready to wind down, just one more thing that we were going to ask you here as we get ready to wrap up. But obviously, a big opportunity for you guys coming up on Saturday for the folks that watch this before we get to Saturday and the broadcast of the game. Let's invite them to come to the game and support these kids. You mentioned the great fan support that you've had throughout the course of the season, and then, of course, in the playoff game last week, but you need them one more time, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. This team is a very special team, and I guess coaches say that all the time, but this team really is. It's a very physical football team, plays very, very fast. They're very high octane. I think we're relentless on defense. I think our numbers have proven that. And, it's a fun game. I've not spoken with anybody, my friends and people that come for the first time that see it have not come out and said, oh, man, I didn't realize that the game is like this. And I said, I get it. I totally get it. But we have players that can play, and they get after it. They play extremely hard. I'm so proud of the coaches and the job that they have done. One of the things that you get from our opponents, and I thank them so much when they say this, is that, when we watch y'all's film, you're extremely well coached in the fundamentals. And that's who I hope I am, is just a fundamental coach. I don't care about all the X's and O's. I know it all comes down, to the names on the back of those jerseys. And, we got some special kids at Unity and some special coaches. So, come on down to Newnan, Northgate High School, 5 o'clock. There's going to be a game before us. I think the single A game is going to be played before us, and then we'll play the double A game. And we'll get that thing kicked off at 5 o'clock and hopefully be back in Rome by 9 with the trophy.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure once again to have the opportunity to catch up with you and do this show today. And go Lions. Best of luck to y'all this weekend.
Absolutely,
awesome.
Matt. Yeah, go Lions. Yeah, you bet.
All right. Well, that's going to put a wrap on our show. We appreciate you tuning in for this episode, championship edition of the Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with Coach David Humphreys. And hopefully next week we can get you to come into the station and have a victory lap celebration.
No, there we go. Yeah, sure. Love to.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So good luck this weekend. Thank you, Coach. All right. So long, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for watching this edition of Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with Coach David Humphreys, presented by Unity Christian School and produced by WLAQ Sports. Go Lions!
Absolutely. And we are in Newnan, Georgia. Glad to be with you. We're at Northgate High School, but tonight it is the home of the GAPPS AA 9-man state championship football game here on November 22nd, 2025. I am Matt Davis alongside senior at Unity Christian School, Luke Reynolds, who's got color commentary for us tonight. I got the play-by-play for you. And, Luke, we're going to have a good time tonight, hopefully capping off the evening with a Unity Lions championship win. We'll see what happens. Should be a great matchup.
Yes, sir.
So let's jump into a little bit of conversation here about the two teams that we've got for you tonight. The Unity Lions come in riding an 11-game win streak, perfect in the regular season, 10-0. They won in the semifinals last week in dominant fashion over the HCA Hawks. Final score in that game was 60-14. And, of course, they were 5-0 in region play. They're facing a Lafayette Christian team, the Cougars, who are 10-1, 5-0 in region play. And, Luke, I know you were at that first game of the season between the Unity Lions and the Lafayette Christian Cougars. And, of course, Unity is the only team that's been able to get the best of the Cougars all year long. Since then, they've been perfect, winning 10 games in a row. It's a good football team.
Yes, sir. I think there's a air of confidence around our Unity program, but this is a tough team, and they played us tough in the opener. It was a 20-0 win for us, but it was a hard-fought 20-0 win. And I know they've switched around things, changed up the offense a little bit going into this one, so I'm looking forward to a good ball game.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. And to give you a little bit of statistical data on each team, the Unity Lions come in red hot on offense, scoring over 48 points a game. But the storyline this year on the Unity Lions, and it's kind of interesting because normally a 9-man football on a regulation field, same size as a GHSA football game, it's interesting because normally you're not talking about defense, you're talking about teams scoring a lot of points, but there's not been many teams to score a lot of points on the Lions this year. Their defense has been extremely stingy.
Yes, sir, incredibly stingy and turnover forcing, honestly. I feel like I've called an interception every single game, Number 1 senior captain Andrea Sawyer making plays all over the field, rangy free safety. Davis Blankenship, Elliott Whiteside clogging up the holes on the defensive line all over the place. William Wilson, number 20, making the hits as the middle linebacker there. We just fly around the field, honestly. One of the best defenses I've seen play.
A couple of players we'll mention for Lafayette Christian, the Cougars. Of course, one of them we should talk about is their quarterback, Logan Childry. And I understand he did not play in their semifinal game. Luke, we were watching the warm-ups just a little bit ago. It looked like he had a brace of some sort on his right leg, but he was throwing some balls, and he can throw a pretty tight spiral. So I think we may see him tonight.
Yeah, I understand that he is also a baseball star, so he's very familiar with throwing the football. It'll be a question as to whether they can protect him tonight because we're going to wreak some havoc in that backfield, I expect. So we'll see.
Other players to watch, Luke, for Lafayette Christian, you got number 3, Caleb Hinton. He's a wide receiver. He's got over 400 yards this year, 4 touchdowns. He's a junior. Also, you've got number 17, Jonathan Ross. He's got 385 yards and 7 touchdowns as a senior wide receiver. And you were telling me about a running back that they have as well that's kind of a bruiser.
Yes, number 19, Wyatt Jeffcoat. He's just a downhill runner. Reminds me of Mike Allstott, played for the Buccaneers back in the day. And they're going to give it to him a lot along with Hinton.
Another player that we'll point out on the defensive side, and this is their leading tackler, it is going to be number 1, Cody Battistini, and he has got 51 tackles this year, and they've got several guys that have got over 40 tackles on the season, so they've got some good defensive players as well. Both teams, again, having great seasons, and they're playing for a championship this evening. I wanted to say tonight, but it's more late afternoon going into evening here with a 5 o'clock kick that we are about 13 minutes away from. So we're going to take a 2-minute break down the line, This is live coverage of the Unity Lions and the Georgia Association of Private and Parochial Schools AA 9-man football state championship game. And, man, this thing is about 13 minutes away from kickoff. Let's step out for 2 minutes. More of the pregame after these messages. Glad you're with us.
Hi, I'm Karen Murdoch. I've been teaching at Unity for 23 years. Now I teach pre-K 4. They are excited about learning. The excitement in their eyes is just unbelievable. Some of them need the hands-on. Some of them just like to work problems out. Some of them even have that critical thinking at this age, and we develop that. We talk a lot about the Bible in our classroom. A lot of books you read, you could bring out the biblical worldview. Even for these little ones, they know there's one God and 3 parts to God. When I was teaching sorting, I taught them that God sorted the world into sections. He made the land and the oceans and the animals. That's how I teach, a biblical worldview. Unless they have a Bible-based foundation, they're not going to succeed in life. They might succeed in the world, but they won't really succeed in knowing Christ. And the most important thing is to pray for these kids. Pray that they will grow up and learn biblical characteristics and Bible character. Even when we are talking to kids about maybe they've done something that they shouldn't have done, we share Christ. And the main thing is we ask them, how do you think that the Lord Jesus would feel right now if you and they're able to tell you. And it's amazing how these kids learn verses, and that's the main thing I care about teaching them is their Bible. Because I love it here. This place it's not just a school, it's a family. I love the students. God just put it in my heart, and I was just born to teach. I believe that. I believe that there's no greater calling. I could go on and on about how Unity was there in my life when my son had liver disease, and Unity was just here. I mean, supporting in every way. And they not just...
Folks, we welcome you back live here to Newnan, Georgia. We're getting ready for the national anthem and the prayer here in just a couple of moments. So once we get into that, we'll turn our crowd mic over and see if we can pick that up from across the field. But let's see if we can get it.
To give you thanks for both programs, the schools, the players, cheerleaders, coaches, volunteers, their communities. We pray for their safety in tonight's game. And would you show yourself both in victory and defeat to be all that we need? We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
And again, we're about 8 minutes and 30 seconds away from the kickoff of the GPPS AA 9-man football state championship game here from Newnan, Georgia. And just to kind of set the stage for you a little bit, we got a beautiful afternoon for a football game. Who would have thought here on November the 22nd we'd be getting ready for kickoff and it would be 77 degrees and sunny? I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up next week. You expect it to be, I don't know, at least in the 50s by this point, but we've got what feels like kind of an early fall day here, late fall, and I'm not complaining about it. It's a beautiful day, and the sun is starting to set in the distance there on the other side of the field, which is nice. I do want to mention that, you know, we had a bit of a glare earlier, but it looks like by the time this thing kicks off, that's not going to be much of an issue for us. But I thought that I'd throw that out there for you just so you know that is something that we've been dealing with and may deal with for a little while. But right now the sun tucked behind a cloud, and then by the time that cloud passes by, I think we're going to be good to go. But let's talk about the coaching matchup for this particular game. Again, it's your Unity Lions against the Lafayette Christian Cougars. And, of course, for the Unity Lions, the head coach is David Humphreys. And David Humphreys took over the Unity football program back in 2021. This is the fourth season in a row that the Lions have played for a state title. They won back in 2023. Humphreys has coached many levels of football from varsity all the way up to the professional level in an arena league. Had stops at Rome, Tryon, Gordon Central, and the GHSA, and even, with an arena league football team, the Georgia Force, back in 2007. I should point out when he was at Rome coaching the Rome Wolves, his teams won 4 region titles, made it to the Quad A quarterfinals 3 times. So this is an excellent football coach of the Unity Lions and just a heck of a great human being. He is also the area director for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and of course just an excellent guy and football coach. And I'm sure you've got to know him over the last few years as well, Luke.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's a great coach and really just leading this team to be somewhat of a dynasty this last couple of years. And, the only thing standing in our way last year was Pinecrest Academy, and they're out of this thing now. So we'll see how it performs in the state championship now.
Oh, it comes down right now to the Unity Lions and the Lafayette Christian Cougars, the last 2 teams standing here in this division. Now, conversely here for Lafayette Christian Cougars, their head coach is Jared Pike. He played high school football for Lafayette Christian, so he's a product of this program. And the program obviously means a tremendous amount to him since he played there, now is the coach there. And I was watching an interview that a gentleman did with him that I found on Facebook yesterday to try to do a little bit of research for this broadcast. And one of the things that really struck me was the conversation that they had about how they've worked with the middle school program, just making sure that everyone's on the same page, developing football players, from a young age up until they get to this level. That way they kind of know how the program runs and all that sorts of stuff. And obviously what they've been doing has been paying off because they're playing for a championship tonight against the Unity Lions. So his philosophy and his way of organizing the program has paid great dividends. He's an excellent football coach and has got a good staff around it.
Oh, for sure. And that's what Coach Humphreys will tell you as well. That's how you build a good football program through the middle school level. If you think about, I think about Miles Schwartz back in the day when he was only a 7th grader tossing around 50-yard dimes in practice. And I was thinking, man, he's going to be something. And now here we are, state championship game.
Absolutely, no question about that. And Luke, to kind of give you a background on the numbers that Lafayette Christian's been putting up throughout the course of the season, it's not quite as impressive as the Unity Lions, but pretty close. They have scored an average of 38.2 points a game, given up just under a touchdown per game, and they've won 10 games in a row. And like Coach Humphrey said, you've pointed this out as well, obviously these two teams are very different than they were in game one. So we know how they matched up in that first game, but your guess is as good as mine how this game is going to shake out when the final buzzer sounds at the end of the night. This is going to be an interesting matchup for sure.
I think we're without a doubt looking at a 1 versus 2 matchup here. This is the number 1 9-man team in Georgia versus the number 2 team, and we're going to see who comes out on top.
Both teams were dominant in their semifinal performance. I mentioned that Unity picked up a 60-14 win over Harvester Christian at Coosa High School last week in the semifinals. Meanwhile, it was the Cougars, like the Lions, they had a first-round bye. They were also dominant in their semifinal game last week. They won that game 47-6 over Pinecrest Academy. We've got the captains making their way out on the field, so we'll see if we can catch their numbers real quick, relay that to you for each one of the teams. Then we'll give you the results of the toss here momentarily, and we'll get this thing kicked off. But right now, the Lafayette Cougars. There, I already did it once in the broadcast. I promised myself I wasn't going to do that, but here are their captains for tonight. Liam Carroll, number 88, also number 34, that's going to be Eli Carroll, as well as number 17, Jonathan Ross, and then another captain is going to be a guy we talked about in the pregame. He's got 51 tackles. That's number 1, Cody Battistini. And now for your Unity Lions, we'll give you their captains as they make their way out onto the field. We're going to have number 72, Elliott Whiteside, number 20, that is William Wilson, number 1, Andreo Sawyer, and then also number 73, Davis Blankenship. And again, they make their way out to midfield, and we will have the results of the coin toss here in just a couple of moments. Right now, both teams' captains shaking hands at midfield, having a little bit of conversation with the officials. And again, beautiful evening here in Newnan, Georgia for a football game. We're at Henry Seldon Field. We're at Northgate High School, and of course their stadium is called Valhalla, and they are the Vikings. And I should also let you know that they play in Class 5A in GHSA football, so it's a pretty darn big stadium that we're at here tonight for this GAPPS AA 9-man football championship game. But right now the officials are at midfield getting ready for the coin toss, and we hope to give you the results of that here in just a couple of moments after they give a few more instructions there at midfield. But we're glad you're with us tonight, whether you're listening on the radio on WLAQ AM 1410, 96.9 FM, or online at WLAQ1410.com, or the live stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media at a number of different outlets online, YouTube, Facebook, so on and so forth. And the coin has been tossed. It looks like that the Cougars won the toss and have deferred to the second half. So, Luke, we're going to get a look at this Unity offense right out of the chute.
Yes, sir. Miles Schwartz back there at QB, looking for a big performance tonight.
And Miles Schwartz, sophomore this year, became the starting quarterback going into the season. And he has racked up over 1,000 yards passing, has thrown 20 touchdown passes. He's also rushed for close to 400 yards and has ran in 11 touchdowns. So he has done a tremendous job here in his sophomore year. And the good news is, no matter what the result of this game, they got him for 2 more years.
That's true. He is a cool customer back there. Just even keeled the whole game, like one of the chillest guys you'll ever talk to. And he can spin that football. and also a true dual threat in my mind. Obviously not the bruising type of runner that Evan Whiteside was here for his career.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here come the Unity Lions. They've made their entrance through the big inflatable lion head, and they look locked in and ready to roll. Tons of energy coming out of the tunnel, and we'll get ready for Lafayette Christian to make their entrance. And, of course, their fans sound a little bit louder. The reason is we're sitting on their side of the field. Of course, there's a great contingent of Unity fans on the other side, but unfortunately the crowd mic not powerful enough to pick them up. So we're going to hear more from the Lafayette Christian fans here tonight than we will from the Unity fans because of where we're positioned, at least on the radio end. I'm not sure about the camera side in terms of the video. But, again, we're glad you're with us, getting ready for this thing to kick off as the Cougars will kick it off to the Lions here in just a couple of moments. Again, I'm Matt Davis with the play-by-play courtesy of WLAQ alongside Luke Reynolds here making his debut on a WLAQ and Northwest Georgia Media broadcast. He is a senior at Unity Christian School with aspirations of being a broadcaster in sports journalism, and glad to have you with me tonight, Luke. Man, this has been a lot of fun so far. We're going to have a blast here.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here.
All right, folks. Well, it is just about go time here in the GAPPS AA 9-man football state championship here on November the 22nd, 2025, and we are ready to roll. And I will just say this. Go Lions. Let's see if they can bring home some hardware at the end of this game. Zayden Leonardi has got it teed up. The freshman kicker will kick it off to your Unity Lions. They're going to have one man back deep. That's going to be Andreo Sawyer. It's going to be a squib kick. Will be fielded and brought out by Isaiah Giddens. He stays up and gets it out to close to the 40-yard line. So we're going to have good field position here for the Unity Lions. That was actually Brady King. Correction.
Yeah, a short little return there, and that kind of squib kick is what most of the teams in our league tend to do. And we'll start from the 40, right? Yep, 40-yard line.
Absolutely. So the Lions from the 40-yard line on their side of the field. Just underway here from Newnan, Georgia. The Lions will roll that high-powered offense up to the line of scrimmage led by quarterback Miles Schwartz, sophomore quarterback. And he gets ready to take the snap as a significant shift takes place towards the left side of the formation. So empty backfield, man motions. They're going to run a play up the middle there with Tyler Ford, and he's going to be dropped. Not much doing there on that play, Luke.
Yeah, not a lot of movement that time, and that kind of jet motion is going to be the bread and butter tonight, and we'll see if they can stop it, continue to stop it, the Cougars defense.
Man motion. So a short gain of about a yard there for the Lions, and that's going to set up a 2nd and 9. So let's see what they dial up for second down here. Got Andreo Sawyer split wide to the near side. Also have a receiver lined up in the slot on each side. We get ready for the snap. Motion man goes off to the left side. Quarterback's rolling to his left, puts the ball in the air, and that's going to be incomplete on the sidelines.
Incomplete that time. Ross from the Cougars was on the coverage there, and not a lot of open options that time for Schwartz.
So the Lions have their back up against the wall here on a 3rd and 9 with the ball remaining at the 41-yard line after the incomplete pass with 11:17 left to go here in the first quarter. And both teams still just kind of filling each other out here as the Lions try to establish some rhythm here on offense. Let's see if they can come up with a big 3rd down conversion. Schwartz ready to take the snap from the gun. He drops back looking to throw, puts the ball in the air, and that is going to be batted down. I believe the receiver had his hands on it and kind of dropped it, so that's going to be incomplete, setting up 4th down.
Yeah, a little bit of a drop there by Tyler Ford. Just early game jitters, I'm feeling like, on this opening drive, but looks like a punt here.
Absolutely. So the Lions are going to go 3 and out on their first possession as they send the punt team out onto the field and get ready to punt it over to the Cougars. They'll get the ball for the first time in this football game. They've got one man back here, the Cougars do. That's going to be number 24, Connor Hudson. And we get ready for the kick. Kick is on the way. That's going to be spiraling into the arms of the return man. He drops it, but he's able to cover at the 30-yard line. The Lions almost had a gift there, Luke.
Yeah, that's early game jitters on the other side from that. That's rare that you'll see a guy just drop the football like that. But that's why they tell you to keep it secure.
Absolutely, but he's able to cover, and the Cougars retain possession of the football, so they get ready for their first play from scrimmage. By the way, the punter there for the Lions is Isaiah Giddens.
Isaiah Giddens, yep. Also a receiver and DB out here, and he's got a great leg.
And so Lafayette Christian rolls out, and that is not the starting quarterback's number 6 that we talked about. They've gone to their backup here for this game, and they're going to have a procedural penalty before the first snap there.
Yeah, it looks like number 80, Joel Sims, just jumped off sides that time. So they got him on the hard count that time.
And so that's going to go against the Lions and spot the Cougars 5 yards before the first snap. So now they're going to have the ball at the 35-yard line. Cougars back to the line of scrimmage. They get lined up with 3 men in the backfield. There's the snap. Going to run it to the near side. Quarterback hands it off and gets it over to Connor Hudson. He takes a hard hit. He's going to probably take a loss of about a yard.
Yep, strong tackle that time, Andrea Sawyer. And that was an interesting formation they came out in that time. That kind of, I guess, archaic would be the formation.
Old school.
Yeah.
Might be a more complimentary term there.
Yeah, that's kind of the schemes you see, just a little more old school and different from what you see at the college level and the 11-man level.
This time they're going to spread it out with a couple of wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side. The quarterback, Lawson Carroll, who is their backup, getting ready to take the snap. He's got an up back on the far side of the formation. There's the snap, ball loose on the turf, and the Unity Lions have picked it up. Ball popped out. Coming out with it for Unity was William Wilson, and the Lions have got a short field here, Luke.
There you go. I mean, opportunistic defense right there. Just trouble with the handoff, and William Wilson pounces on that ball.
Well, when I asked Coach Humphreys what his keys to the game were, the very first thing that he mentioned was win the turnover battle. Right now, in terms of that battle, it's 1-0 in terms of your Unity Lions.
Yes, sir. And, I mean, we didn't even have to really work for it. Just happened that it bounced our way.
So Unity's going to start at the Lafayette 34-yard line, and the Lions have got their offense back in on the field. There's the snap. Schwartz is going to opt to run. The quarterback, he stays up and is able to eke out a couple of yards there on first down.
Yeah, just a little fake zone read that time. Fake to the jet motion man that time. Short carry for Miles Schwartz. Looking for second down now.
That brings up second down and 8 after a pickup of 2. Gets the Lions down to the 32-yard line, working from left to right. Unity Lions are in their white breeches with navy jerseys with chromed helmets with a lion on the side. Here's the snap. Schwartz going to put the ball in the air, connects with the receiver, and almost shook off a tackle did Andrea Sawyer. Gets a nice chunk of yards and stays ahead of the chains.
Yeah, that quick slant. You could tell he's looking for that outside juke that time, but they were able to wrap him up. Looking for third down now.
And so that pass gets the Lions down to the 26-yard line. It's going to be third down and 2 to go. 9 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in our opening quarter. We are scoreless. This is the second possession of the football game for Unity. They went 3 and out the first time, got a short field, started at the 34-yard line this time, and we get ready for the snap. Here it is. Schwartz has got it. It's a quarterback run all the way, breaks through the line of scrimmage and gets down inside the 10. First down, Unity Lions, and they're in the red zone.
Right down the middle, powerful offensive line play that time, creating a big hole, and if that keeps happening, we're going to be in good shape.
So the Lions have a first down, and they've got a red zone trip here, 1st and 10, with the ball just nose of it right at the 10-yard line. And so the sticks are down. It's 1st and goal. Schwartz is going to line up in a gun, has a wide receiver on the far side. 2 wide receivers, rather. Man motions to the right. They're going to run it up the middle, and he's going to dive forward. Ford does to about the 4, but we have a flag here, Luke. We'll have to see what that's all about.
Could be a hold. We'll see.
It looks like it was a hold. Good call, Luke. So that's going to be a 10-yard penalty against the Lions. The tackle was made by Jonathan Ross of the Cougars. Lafayette Christian. It's over in Lagrange, Georgia. And so the Lions are going to now have the ball at the 20-yard line, so it's going to be 1st and goal from the 20 after the holding call. And we will get ready for the snap from the gun. Miles Schwartz has his offense lined up. 2 wide receivers on the far side. 1 motions to the right. There's the snap. Schwartz looking left, drops back, company in the backfield, throws a screen pass, and that's going to be incomplete to the tight end there. Isaiah Giddens, I believe, was the receiver, and an incomplete pass.
Yep, Isaiah Giddens. Yeah, there was just pressure in Miles' face right there. That was a tough throw that he was trying to make there.
Absolutely. So I believe this will be the 6th play of the drive, and this is going to be 2nd down and goal from the 20-yard line. Of course, a couple plays ago there was a holding penalty that backed the Lions up 10 yards. And so the Lions get ready to go back to the line of scrimmage with a new play call. Schwartz lines them up in the gun, empty backfield, going to have 2 wide receivers on the far side. It looks like Coach Humphreys wants to take a timeout and think this one over after he saw what the defense lined up with. So we're going to take a timeout as well. Let's step out for 30 seconds.
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, from concerts to business events, we're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable. Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience.
I do want to let people know on the radio end, if you were tuning in expecting to hear the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets pregame ahead of the game against Pitt, we are not going to have that. We're going to join the game in progress after this one. So Georgia Tech football after the conclusion of the GAPPS AA 9-man football championship. 2nd down and goal. Here is a snap. It's going to be a pass. Incomplete there from Schwartz. A lot of pressure in the backfield that time.
Yeah, a little low that time. I couldn't tell who the intended receiver was that time. But looks like we're probably going to go for it on 4th down here.
And so 7:47 left to go here in the opening quarter. 2nd possession of the game here for the Unity Lions. Both teams searching for the first points of the game. We are scoreless here at the home of the Vikings, but tonight it's the Lions and the Cougars fighting for a championship trophy. And I'm sure that both teams have a nice place cleared off on the bus for the ride back. But which team is it going to be? We'll see. Looks like we're going to have a good one here. 3rd down and goal from the 20-yard line. Here's the snap. Dropping back as Schwartz. Pump fakes. Put the ball in the air. And it's going to be knocked down. Incomplete, bringing up 4th down. That was a great play by the defender.
Solid defense there from the DB out the side for the Cougars. Looking for a jump ball there. I'm sure Miles was. Bo Matson is a tall guy. He's freshman, but he's able to dunk a basketball on a regulation rim right now. So,
and credit where credit's due. Bradley Miller was the defender there for the Cougars, and he got it in front of the ball there and knocked it down. Incomplete pass sets up 4th down, and it looks like the Unity Lions are going to go for a field goal here.
Now this is actually pretty rare. We are not a big field goal kicking team, but hey, rely on Isaiah Giddens, the right leg there.
27-yard attempt coming up. Here is the kick from the far hash. It's got the leg. Is it through? No. It is going to be wide and no good, so we remain scoreless here with 7:14 left to go here in the first quarter of the football game.
Interesting decision, yeah. There, we don't typically kick a lot of field goals, so I mean, we do kick extra points, but typically it's going for it on 4th down. So, I mean, hey, if you think we can make it, it was a good call, but wide that time, but it's okay.
So Lafayette, they have got the ball now at the 20-yard line on their side of the field with 7:14 left to go. They snap the ball loose on the turf, and let's see who came up with it. They fumbled on their last possession, Luke, and they have had troubles holding on to the football early in this game.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know, they're like not used to the football they're using or something. There's just not enough grip on it or something.
Kind of interesting. They put the ball on the turf twice, and then, of course, on the opening kickoff, they bobbled that a little bit. So they've had some ball security issues. That one's going to make them lose about 4 yards. So after the loss, that puts them at the 16-yard line, and it looks like we may have a stoppage in play. The officials running over to the ball after blowing the whistle. I'm not sure exactly what this is all about here. Officials going to have a little bit of conversation here, make sure they've got everything set right. Still having a little bit of conversation. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, no way of knowing there.
And so Lafayette Christian gets ready to go back to the line of scrimmage. They're at the 16-yard line after a 4-yard loss on first down. Their quarterback, Carroll, takes the snap. He turns, hands it off. They want to try to run it to the outside. Can't get to the edge with number 70, Jonathan May, because the Lions were in hot pursuit on defense and were able to string him out and come up with a big stop.
Yeah, strong tackle that time. And Coach Humphreys was talking about that in the pregame we had. The defensive line in the trenches, that's going to be the difference in this one. And we won the trench battle that time. So let's hope we continue.
So another loss there, this time for 2 yards, brings them back to the 14-yard line, sets up 3rd down and 16 as the Lions come back on offense. Smell a little bit of blood in the water, ready to pounce here on 3rd down. Here is the snap to their quarterback. He rolls out looking to throw, puts the ball in the air, connects on a screen pass, and the tackle's going to be made there by the Lions' Blake Hall, who's had over 55 tackles on the season. Good play for that young man. And now the Cougars are going to have to punt.
Yeah, Blake Hall, strong tackle. That guy, he loves to tackle people. That's his forte. He's had a whole lot of sacks this season, just a threat wherever he is on the defensive side of the ball.
So they were able to connect with Hudson there on the pass, but the defense got there quickly. And with 4th down and 13 from deep in their own territory, the Cougars are going to have to punt this football away. Number 55 handling the duties, Brady Miller. There is the kick. That's going to be right up the chute and goes out of bounds. And so once again, we're going to see Unity with great field position here.
Yeah, that was a high punt that time. Out of bounds at the 35. I can imagine that they probably don't want number 1, Andrea Sawyer, returning the ball that time. But, yeah, I don't think he intended it there.
Now that the sun is starting to set, when we got kicked off, it was close to 78 degrees. Felt a little bit warm, but now the temperature's starting to dip. We've got a nice breeze blowing through. I mean, this is just an unbelievable afternoon and into evening for a football game. Super glad to be here and glad that you're with us here on the broadcast. Lions line up. This is going to be at the 44-yard line on the Cougar side of the field. Schwartz is going to run it, sneaks through the line of scrimmage and gets it down to the 36-yard line. Solid run there by the quarterback.
Yep, we're just trying to establish dominance in the ground game, just running it up their throats right now.
So now the ball is going to be at the 38-yard line after a pickup of 6 or 7 yards. That sets up 2nd down and 3 here for the Lions as they pick up a good chunk of yards from the quarterback there on 1st down. 4:42 left to go in the first quarter. Both teams, for the most part, have been running the football. Going to have wide receivers on each side as Schwartz gets ready to take the snap. He's got Cooper Mathis as the sidecar to his left. Going to hand it off, though. Gets it over to Ford. He has got a head full of steam. I don't think anybody's going to get him. Nope, they do, just inside the 5-yard line, but a big run there by Ford.
Shoestring tackle that time. Tyler Ford, he's almost always the fastest guy on the football field. He's a track star as well, and he loves to play the game of football. Into the red zone that time, but looks like we have a man down on the field for the Cougars.
So it is going to be 1st and goal here for the Unity Lions as they try to get the first points on the game. But as Luke pointed out, we're going to have an injury timeout here as one of the Cougars is being looked at by the trainer here for the Cougars as he is down. And he looks to be in some pain there. But we'll see what happens here in just a couple of moments. But again, we're glad you're with us. I do want to mention that, again, that we've got some Georgia Tech football in progress coming up a little bit later on tonight. And that young man's going to be up, and it looks like he's going to be able to get off the field to his own accord. And, of course, he gets a round of applause from the Cougars fan base who's sitting right in front of us. So we're certainly glad that young man's okay. And from the looks of it, Luke, I think we're going to see him again.
Yeah, he doesn't look to be too hurt.
Just got a little rattled there on that play. And one of the things that you can certainly say about this Unity football team, anytime you ask a coach what are the keys to the game, inevitably they're going to say you got to win the hitting game. Well, I would say that Unity wins the hitting game every game they play.
Yeah, we've got some tacklers on defense. We've got William Wilson, middle linebacker, and of course we've already talked about Blake Hall. He's been laying the lumber to a couple guys this year, and we're lined up in the red zone here.
First and goal from the 5 as Unity's got everybody in tight. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to run, dives ahead of the pile, and there is a wall of Cougars there to greet him, so not much doing there on that first down and goal play.
Yeah, a round of applause from the Lafayette fans there. That's a strong stand from them.
So the play for Ford on the previous play was a 33-yard play that got them all the way down to the 5, so a big play there by the Lions have set them up with an opportunity to try to get the first points. Let's see if they can cash in. So now it's going to be second down and goal after a pickup of 1 from the quarterback on the previous play. And he lines up everybody in tight except for a couple receivers on the near side. Man motions off to the left. They're going to run a jet sweep out to the left side, trying to get him to the corner of the end zone. And he's in, ladies and gentlemen. The Unity Lions strike first blood. Tyler Ford on a jet sweep is able to score from 4 yards out, and the Unity Lions strike first, 6-0.
Tyler Ford just had a convoy that time. He was able to just walk into the end zone exactly like they drew it up. Beautiful.
So 4-yard touchdown there for Ford. And Giddens is on to try to get the extra point here and make it a 7-0 football game. Going to make a personnel shift here. They got to have their holder, and he's out onto the field right now handling that. It's going to be the quarterback, Schwartz. And here comes the snap. Kick is on the way, and it is going to be tapped, and it goes through. So it is deflected through the uprights. It counts, and the score moves to 7-0.
That is not something you see every day. That was unique.
I was literally about to say I don't know if I've ever been at a live football game and have seen that happen in the way that just occurred. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, perfect arch through the uprights. That was interesting, yeah.
Wow. So 7-0 with 3:18 remaining in the contest as the Lions strike first and get points on the board here in this championship football game. The Lions had the ball, had great field position, started at the Lafayette Christian 44-yard line, ran 4 plays, got into the end zone, capped it off with a 4-yard touchdown play led by Ford on a jet sweep. And he was able to get into the corner of the end zone on the far side and, again, put the first points onto the scoreboard. And the Lions lead at 7-0 as they get ready to kick it back off here to the Cougars. Of course, the young man that just put it through the uprights, Isaiah Giddens, will handle the kickoff here for the Lions. And we've got the signal from the official. Here we go. Toe meets leather. That's going to be a nice long end-over-end kick. And it is going to roll out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. So the penalty flag comes in. And so the Cougars will have good field position as they should be able to start. Well, what do they do in this league? They start at the 35?
Yeah, it's 35 for a free kick out of bounds there. That's unfortunate. He's actually had a lot of touchbacks this year on the kickoffs, and he's had 1 or 2 that have actually died within the 10-yard line and have had to been returned from that position, which is ideal for a kickoff, but that one rolled out of bounds. So from the 35 for the Cougars.
So the Cougars trot their offense out onto the field. Their starting quarterback not playing in the game, Logan Childrey, who had close to 1,400 yards coming into the ball game, but they've got the freshman out there, Lawson Carroll. There's the snap, going to hand it off, get it into the hands of number 24, Connor Hudson, and the defense pounces. Another loss created there by the defense.
Cooper Mathis and Bo Matson in the backfield that time. He had nowhere to go.
So they're going to lose 4 yards there. That sets up a second down and 14 with the ball at the 31-yard line. They started this drive at the 35. They'll run back to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. Power set. There's the snap. Quarterback hands it off. They try to run it up the middle, but not against this line. They're going to be stopped for a loss. Ball came out. Unity believes they have it, and we'll see what the official says. Yes, they do. The Lions come out with the football, and coming out with it for the Lions, I believe, was Cooper Mathis.
Wow, just a pile up that time. We couldn't even see the ball come loose, but it sure did. 1st and 10 for Unity.
So Cooper Mathis is responsible for the fumble recovery. That is the second fumble recovered there by the Unity Lions. We talked about, one of the keys to the game being winning that turnover battle. Well, right now it is 2 turnovers for the Cougars and 0 for the Unity Lions. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout here. So we're going to take it as well. 7-0 Lions over the Cougars. We're back in 30 seconds.
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, from concerts to business events, we're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable. Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience.
Matt Davis and Luke Reynolds with you with the play-by-play story tonight of Unity Christian School in the GAPPS Championship 9-man football game. The road ends here, and it's just whether or not you're going to be the team taking the trophy back and putting it in the trophy case with the rest, which obviously Unity has been able to rack up some trophies in recent years in multiple sports and hopefully get another one here tonight. They're going to shift some guys at the line of scrimmage to the right as they get ready for 1st and 10 from the Cougar 31. Unity with the football, trying to get some more points, and a flag comes in just before the play. That's a false start.
Yeah, just a false start. The tight ends on the outside got moving just a little early, and they caught them.
Got a little bit excited there, perhaps. And one of the things that you had pointed out, Luke, was the starting quarterback that has started most of the season for Lafayette. We haven't seen him in the game. But you noticed him on the sidelines warming up just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, he's got a knee brace on, but it does look like he's ready to go. So we'll see what happens next time the Cougars are on offense.
So Unity at the line of scrimmage. Get ready to take the snap. Going to run the football out to the left side and find some room on the edge. He gets a nice chunk of yards, got the penalty yards back, and then some. Running the ball was Brady King. And that was a nifty run to the outside by that young man.
Yes, sir. Brady King. He's got his whole family just has a long history at Unity. His mom works at Unity, coaches son. Sister plays on the girls basketball team. His brother was a quarterback for us for a long time. So he's born and raised Lion, and he's performed really well this season.
Well, 2nd down and 7 now from the 28-yard line as the Lions are at the line of scrimmage. They're going to have everybody in tight at the line of scrimmage. Going to be sort of more of a shotgun look. Sidecar on the left side. Quarterback's going to follow a blocker. Bounces out towards the left side, and he's going to be stopped by number 7. That's Isaiah Montando, who's been racking up the tackles this year for the Cougars, and he helps get a stop here for the Cougs.
Yeah, strong win up front from the Cougars defensive line. They are stronger than a lot of the other teams that you'll see in 9-man. So we've definitely got our hands full there.
3rd down and 5 after a pickup of 2 gets the Lions to the 26 of the Cougars. Shotgun formation, everybody in tight at the line of scrimmage as Schwartz waits on the ball, makes a little adjustment, and gets ready for the snaps. Got the ball, he's going to run it, follows that lead blocker, trying to get him free. Did he get enough to get the first down? It's awful close. We'll see if they move the sticks. I believe they will. That's 1st down Lions.
And the run on 3rd down and 5 there, bold play call, but that's Unity football for you, especially in this game. We are establishing the run.
So the Unity Lions are now in the red zone with 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line after a couple of quarterback runs in a row, is able to get them the first down and keeps the clock moving. We're almost done with the first quarter of this football game. Going to have a couple of wide receivers, a little more spread out here for this particular down. Quarterback Schwartz ready to take the snap. Got a sidecar on the right side. He takes the snap, drops back, puts the ball in the air, connects with a receiver who gets upended. That's going to be an incomplete pass, and that was a hard hit from Caleb Hinton. My goodness. A flag comes in.
Yeah, quite the eruption from the Cougar crowd that time, and Bo Matson is down after that one.
I think this may be one of those situations where he got the wind knocked out of him. That's what it looks like.
That's the only – I don't know how you couldn't have the wind knocked out for you there. A strong hit that time. I do think it was a clean hit, but
I thought so as well. And again, the young man that was responsible for that was, I believe, number 3, Caleb
Hinton. anytime you have a guy go airborne that way, the officiating crew is always a little more lenient to throw a flag there. And,
Man.
He's got his helmet off.
So the athletic trainer is out to have a look at him, and of course Coach Humphreys comes out as well. And again, they're going to call a personal foul against the defensive player. I'm not arguing with the call, but I'm with you, Luke. I thought it was a hard hit, but I didn't think that there was anything as far as a penalty on the hit. But
I don't know if y'all can hear on the broadcast here, but the Cougars fans are not happy with that one.
But we've got a little bit of a injury timeout here as the athletic trainer continues to have a look at the Unity player that is down, as you pointed out, as Bo Matson. We've got 32.1 seconds left here in the opening quarter of the football game. It's 7-0 in favor of your Lions. And they've got the ball at the 19-yard line. Obviously, we just mentioned the personal foul, so that changes things here. So we'll see where everything shakes out once they march off the penalties for the personal foul. But obviously, you're going to have the Unity Lions edging a lot closer towards the goal line after that big penalty flag was thrown against the Cougars on the defensive play.
Gosh, I sure hope Bo Matson is okay. He's an electric player in basketball and football. His whole time at Unity Middle School and high school, he's just been all over the place with athletics. And he's looking forward to a pretty big basketball year as a freshman. But
what is he, about 6'4", 6'5", something like that?
Yeah, I'd say he's around 6'4". You'd have to ask him. I'm sure he'd give you a higher number. But
well, I haven't seen him play, but I've had people tell me that he can absolutely jump out of the gym.
Yeah, he is. I've seen a video of him dunking on our rims this season, so I'm expecting big things for him in basketball this year.
Very exciting. And they are still having a look at him on the field right now, and obviously everybody here hopes that young man is going to be okay and be able to resume play here in this game, because obviously we're in the first quarter here of the Class AA Georgia Association of Private and Parochial Schools 9-man football state championship game. And you never want to get knocked out of any game, but especially you don't want to get knocked out of a championship game. And now Bo is on his feet and trying to shake it off, having a conversation with his head coach, Coach Humphreys, and also I think I see Coach Giddens out there with him as well.
Yeah, he looks to be okay. We'll just have to see.
Well, again, it was a hard hit and a little bit shaken up there on the play. Bo having a little bit of help off the field, but from the looks at it, I think after he walks around a little bit, we're probably going to see him again in this game, I think.
I think so.
I won't speculate too much,
but that's one of the toughest hits. And he didn't see him coming either, so that's a really tough hit to take there. But I'm glad he was able to walk off on his own power.
Absolutely. So after the penalty, that's a 10-yard penalty. That's going to put Unity at the 9-yard line with 1st and goal. So first down here for the Unity Lions from the 9-yard line. And they're going to send a wide receiver to the near side. That's going to be Andreo Sawyer. We've talked a lot about him during the pregame and what he can do. But we get ready for Schwartz to take the snap here on first down. He is going to hand it off, goes out to the left side on the sweep. He stays up and is greeted by a mass of humanity at about the 3 or 4 yard line. So a good pickup there on the sweep play to Tyler Ford.
Yep, Tyler Ford, he was looking for it that time, looking for his second touchdown in the game. And in our offense, I know Matt's been calling them as sweeps, which they are, but he's really taken the same amount of carries that you would see from a running back in an 11-man level. That's just the way we run the offense. The backfield guy is typically more of a blocker.
And so empty backfield, going to have 2 wide receivers on the far side here for Schwartz, the quarterback, as he gets ready to snap the ball from the 4 yard line here on second down. Quarterback run, he stays up, tries to shake off a couple guys, carries a guy to the line, and he is in the goal line.
What a run. Physicality to the goal line. Miles Schwartz that time would not be tackled.
Absolutely. So Schwartz for 4 yards out on the quarterback keeper there. and he is able to get to pay dirt and get some more points. It's a 2-score game in favor of the Lions.
2-score game, yep, and we're going to have to see what Logan Childry, the quarterback warming up for the Cougars down there, is going to have to say about that. He looks ready to get in there.
And so Isaiah Giddens on for the point after. Schwartz with the hole, gets the ball down. Kick is on the way, and that one is no question right down Broadway. 14-0 is your score. And that is right at the end of the first quarter of the football game. So, folks, we're glad you're with us here for live coverage of Unity Christian School Lions and the Lafayette Christian Cougars in the GAPPS AA 9-man football state championship game. We'll get you ready for the second quarter after a 1-minute timeout here on WLAQ. Yikes. And the Unity Lions kick it off. That's going to go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So they're going to make the Cougars have to go 80 yards here on this drive, Luke.
Yeah, powerful kick from Isaiah Giddens that time. You don't see a whole lot of high school kickers that can kick it for a touchback, and he can. So we're glad to have him.
Big leg of Isaiah Giddens again puts it through the end zone, and so the Cougars get ready to go back to line of scrimmage. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out at the quarterback position here in this game. We saw their regular starting quarterback lined up, and he's out there, Luke. We're going to see Logan Childry for the first time of the game, and he can throw a good ball. He's got 3 wide receivers to the near side. One on the far side is going to throw on first down, puts it in the air, tight spiral, connects with the receiver at midfield, and that is going to be Landon Childry. I'm assuming that's his brother, and a big play, 30-yard play out of the gate.
What a throw and catch that time, and the Cougar stands over here have just erupted. This is he's looking to win this game for him, Logan Childry.
Well, he made his presence known on the first play, a 30-yard pass there from the quarterback who is into the game, Logan Childry. A little bit banged up, but not his arm. He drops back looking to throw on second down. Company in the backfield by the Lions, and he is going to take a sack at midfield. He was able to get it back to the line of scrimmage, so didn't take the loss, but he did take the hit.
Yeah, he was stretching out for more yardage that time, and he got sandwiched William Wilson and Blake Hall that time. That was a tough hit.
So we'll call it just across the 50, closing in on the 49-yard line, but it's still more or less second down and 10. He got inches across that 50-yard line into Unity territory, did the quarterback, Logan Childry, who takes the snap from the gun, hands it off. They're going to try to run it out to the left side of the formation. Number 70, Jonathan May, with the carry, found a little bit of room and a mile gain there.
Yeah, and just not a whole lot of movement from the offensive line that time. They'll have to get more movement if they want to win this ball game. So, but Logan Childry coming in and playing good so far.
Lawson Carroll, who was at quarterback, is now back out on the field. They may line him up at a running back here for this package. We'll see. He plays some different positions. But you're going to see Landon Childry split wide to the near side here for the Cougars. Going to be a pistol formation here for Childry, the quarterback, puts it in the air. It is intercepted. It was tipped by a player, then intercepted by another Lion, and he is returning it all the way down to the 23-yard line. Way to go, Lions. And number 18, wow, Brady King on the interception. Now, Luke, I didn't see who tipped the ball. It looked like it got tipped, but I did see who intercepted it, and again, that was Brady King.
I don't think it was tipped, but it was read perfectly by Brady King. That is he's been making picks like that all season. Just a really smart DB, intelligent DB, can read the play perfectly almost every time, knows where the routes are. And there was a flag after that one. I'm not sure what it was.
Might have been a hold on the return or something like that, but again, Brady King with the interception. It's a fairly wobbly pass. He had a good beat on it, got up and grabbed it, and this is going to be against Unity.
Yeah, so I think it was a personal foul after the interception on the Lions. I didn't see where that was. I guess maybe some excessive celebration after the interception. But regardless, it'll be 15 yards back to start after the turnover.
So Unity's going to line up at the 39-yard line of the Cougars here with 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Going to run it out to the right side there with Ford, and he is hit hard at the end of the play. It looked like his forward progress was stopped.
Yeah, short gain that time. You can tell that the Cougars have definitely been watching film, and they're ready to hit Tyler Ford. So we'll see how that matchup continues to play out. Second down here.
He was able to eke out, I think, about 2 yards on the play, so that sets up second down and 8. So that should be at the 37-yard line as Unity gets ready to come back to the line of scrimmage. We've had 3 turnovers in the game, all of them from the Cougars, 2 fumbles, and now an interception. And we saw Brady King come up with that electric interception for the Lions. Shotgun formation, man motions off to the right. Dropping back to pass is Schwartz, puts the ball in the air, and jumping up and grabbing it, making a nice catch was Andreo Sawyer inside the 20-yard line. What a grab, Luke.
Absolute highlight reel catch there for Andreo Sawyer. Honestly, I saw that play and I knew it was not in doubt that time. The 50-50 balls are more like 70-30 balls for Andreo Sawyer.
He went up and high-pointed the ball and stole it out of the air and came down with it. Now Unity's got the ball inside the 20 at the 19-yard line with a fresh set of downs, already leading this 14-0 with 8:50 left to go here in the second quarter of the football game. Miles Schwartz ready to take the snap. Motions a man off to the right. That's Ford. Works his way that way. Looking to throw. Puts the ball in the air, and it's intercepted. Coming away with it was Caleb Hinton for the Cougars. He's got the ball, tries to cut up towards the near side, and is down at about the 20-yard line. He was brought down, I believe, by number 72, Elliott Whiteside. But that's the first turnover for Unity.
Yeah, Isaiah Giddens was open that time, and he was calling for the ball in the end zone, but just a little underthrown, and Caleb Hinton takes advantage that time.
Absolutely. So the Cougars are going to get the ball right back after a couple of Unity plays there, and they're going to get it at their own 19-yard line. So not great field position as they get started with their next drive here of the second quarter. 8:30 left to go in the second frame of this football game. Lafayette Christian back at the line of scrimmage. Childrey is going to throw a wide receiver screen out to the left side, and he is going to be brought down after a short gain there on the play. Number 55 was the receiver, Brady Miller, the senior.
Yeah, quick little play, clearly trying to get Logan Childrey back in a rhythm that time. And the pink cleats for Logan Childrey today. You don't see that every day.
No, you don't. That was a 3-yard play that gets them to the 22-yard line. Second down and 7. 8 minutes to go here in the half. Going to send 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. So everybody's spread out here for Lafayette Christian except for the lone running back. And the quarterback is being chased around the backfield. He'll be brought down there by Unity's number 20, William Wilson.
Just hunted down that time by William Wilson. He looked like he was trying to cut it upfield, and he thought he was getting away, but William Wilson cut him down from behind.
He was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, which is the 22-yard line, so no gain. That brings up third down and 8 here for the Cougars, who trail 14-0 with 7:24 remaining in the second quarter. And so Lafayette Christian going to send trips to the far side, 1 on the near side, working from left to right. Shotgun formation. Quarterback Childrey getting ready to take the snap. Some movement up front there on the line of scrimmage by the defense. No flag though. Quarterback Childrey is rolling out to his right. All kind of traffic in the backfield. Ball comes out. Who got it? It looks like the Cougars were able to cover. Good heads up play by number 73, John Abel, who's able to cover that ball for the Cougars.
Blake Hall stripping it out for Unity. And that was the story of last matchup, week 1 of the season, home opener for Unity. There was just a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks. And he is limping off the field, looks like Logan Childry. He's pretty upset about it right now.
And so the punt team back out on the field. We're going to see Bradley Miller, the senior punter, punted away here for the Cougars. You're going to have a man back deep here for Unity, standing at about the 46-yard line. 45-yard line is going to be Andreo Sawyer. And the ball is headed in his general direction. And it drops just across the 50-yard line. And so excellent field position for the Lions as they'll just watch it roll dead.
Yeah, you got to feel for Logan Childry. I do believe he's a senior, and that's not the way you want to go out, hoping that he can get back into this one.
So the Lions are going to have it at the 48-yard line on their side of the field as they get ready to line up here, already with a 2-score 14-0 lead with 6:05 left to go here in the second quarter of this football game, as the sun continues to set here in Newnan, Georgia at Northgate High School, which is the scene of the AA 9-man GAPPS football state championship game. Shotgun formation. Miles takes the snap and drives the pile up the middle. What a hard run by the quarterback.
Wow.
Got about 8 yards.
That's about 4 guys needed to tackle Miles that time. Big run, big strong run.
So after the 7-yard pickup, it wasn't quite that far. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4. Let's call it a 6-yard pickup. Ball's at the 44-yard line. Schwartz will line up in the gun. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Man from the slot motions to the right. They're going to hand it to him and run it up the middle. Shakes free. He is loose. I don't think anybody can catch him in this foot race. Touchdown, Unity Lions. Way to go. They come up with another big play, and this time it was number 18, Brady King. And Luke, he's having a whale of a game.
Yes, sir. Just the speed on the outside. That's usually the difference in our games, and it's the difference tonight right now. Just running it up the middle off that jet motion, hard to stop.
So Brady King there with a 44-yard run there for a touchdown. Giddens is on for the extra point. He's made his first 2, so let's see if he can make it 3 for 3. We get ready for the snap. Ball's on the way. Hold looks good. Kick on the way. And that one is going to be wide right. Misses the 3rd PAT, and the score remains 20-0 in favor of the Unity Lions.
Yeah, and that's a pretty rare miss for Isaiah Giddens. He's pretty automatic on the PATs, but it's all right. And we'll get ready to kick this one off.
So 20-0 is your score. 5:10 remaining in the first half of the football game. We invite you to stay tuned at halftime for our halftime show. And we may have a special guest coming up at halftime. I was touching base with Unity Athletics Director Russ Dyer earlier in the week and seeing if we might could line that up. He's on the other side of the stadium, so we may or may not have a visit from him. But if we do, we'll have a fun conversation about all the exciting things that are going on with the Unity Athletics program. And one of the things that I saw that came out in the news last week was where they're going to be playing their baseball games this year. There'll be some big-time atmosphere over at Advent Health Stadium where the Rome Emperors play.
That's right. I'm not sure how we got that one lined up, but hey, I'm all for it. The baseball team, I'm hoping, is on the come-up, so we'll see what happens.
Giddens going to boot it away here for the Lions. That'll be end over end. This one's going to drop in, will be fielded there by Lafayette Christian. Caleb Hinton, he stays up, shakes off a couple of guys and gets hit and down at about the 33-yard line. But a pretty good return there for that young man who's very athletic. Got some speed to him. As our papers fly all over the press box. You have to have the windows open here because the windows are kind of got a bunch of condensation and stuff all over them, so you can't see out the windows. But the downside of that is we got a windy night with the wind blowing in the press box, so we're having to kind of paperweight all of our papers to keep our rosters where we can catch everybody's names and whatnot. But Lafayette Christian now lines up with 2 wide receivers to the near side. Man motions off to the left side of the formation. Their quarterback, Logan Childry, is in the game. He takes the snap, dropping back, looking to throw. No, that's not Logan. Puts the pass in the air, connects with a receiver. That is Connor Hudson, who is streaking down the sideline on the far side, and they've got their first points and a touchdown pass for their original starting quarterback tonight, Lawson Carroll, the freshman, who put a good ball in the air there for his receiver. Wow.
Just a back shoulder vertical route that time. Brady King was on the coverage. I think he just lost the ball in the air that time, and Connor Hudson able to capitalize that time for the Cougars. That does keep them in it. It is now 20-6.
I believe that was a 68-yard play to Connor Hudson, if I did my math right on that. But either way, it's 6 points, and then they go to the line here, see if they can tack on the extra point. Handling the kick here is going to be Bradley Miller. I think I called him Brady earlier. Sorry about that, young man. Get it right. Landon Childrey will handle the hold here in just a couple of moments. And if you're the young quarterback, the freshman quarterback, Lawson Carroll, for the Cougars right there to have a positive pass play right there, come up with a big play and a touchdown, that's going to be a big confidence lift. It'll be interesting to see what that does for him the rest of the game. The kick is through, and it is 20-7. Unity Lions on top by 2 scores.
Kick is through that time, yeah, and that's a play that the Cougars needed, and they will stay in this one. Momentum not all the way on Unity's side so far.
Well, we talked about it with Coach Humphreys earlier this week in the coaches show, talking about how obviously both of these teams have got a lot of miles on them since they started at the first of the year, and both teams were going to look different going into this contest than they did in the first game. And so a big strike back there from the Cougars trying to climb back into this game. They were down by 3 scores, and now after that quick strike for a touchdown, feels like a different ball game at this point.
Yeah, and the stadium is aware of it too. The Cougars fan base is on their feet at this point.
Absolutely. 4:47 left to go here in our first half. Here is the kick from Miller. It's going to be a squib. Bounces high into the arms of Ford, who's going to bring it out, cuts to the far side of the field, and it's going to be brought down just shy of the 40-yard line, so a good return nonetheless.
Good return that time. You could tell Tyler Ford looking for the open space that time, because I've seen it so many times. If he finds that open space, he's gone in an instant. So good tackle there from the Cougars.
But we do have a flag on the field, Luke, so we'll have to see what this is about. It could be a block in the back or a hold or something of that nature. It looks like it was a hold.
Yep. Those are a killer on the kickoff returns.
So we thought the Lions were going to have the ball close to the 40-yard line, but the official says, not so fast, my friend. We're going to bring you back to about the 25-yard line, but still pretty decent field position. And so the Lions get ready to line up with 4:38 to go in the half, leading by 2 scores. Shotgun formation, man motions off to the right. They're going to run a handoff to the right side, and that's Ford again. This time he's going to get maybe 4 or 5 yards.
Just submarining on that jet motion, and I think we might be due for one to break big on that jet sweep pretty soon.
You can feel it coming, can't you?
I can feel it coming.
Maybe we'll see it come back the other way here on the next play. We'll see. All right, the Lions get ready to line up with 2nd down and 5. Ball now 31. Line of scrimmage shifts to the near side. Schwartz ready to take the snap here, and he is going to run the football behind some big guys up front. Is able to maybe get a yard or 2 at the most.
No room to work that time. This Lafayette defensive line came to play today.
And I'm probably messing you up on that, Luke, because I know I've said it the other way a bunch of times, but old habits die hard. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not doing it intentionally.
No, it's not you that's doing it. It's just my brain just gets the town in Georgia and the school switched around all the time.
But now it's 3rd down and 4. Ball is at the 33-yard line as Schwartz with an empty backfield gets ready to take the snap from the gun. Motions a man to the right. Going to hand it to the motion man. That's Ford. He goes forward, and I think he carried the pile for the first down. We'll see where they mark it, but that should be a first down for the Lions. Yep, it is.
There we go. Just the run we needed. 1st and 10. Looking to do it again.
This time he got it out to the 38-yard line. Did Ford, and the Unity Lions have a fresh set of downs, and they'd love it if they could take this clock all the way down, put some points on the board right before they go to the locker room. And we should mention, well, the Cougars get the ball out of the half. They won the toss, deferred to the 2nd half. Shotgun formation, man motions to the right. Quarterback drops back, looking to throw to the left, had company in the backfield. Is going to have to tuck and run the football. Stays up, gets about, 5 yards.
I mean, that's what you want to see. That one looked like a broken play from the start. Miles Schwartz able to turn it into 5 yards. That's exactly what you want to see from your sophomore quarterback.
Some nifty footwork there from Miles Schwartz, as Luke pointed out, and the Lions on the move. They've got 2nd down and 6 from the 42-yard line coming up, getting close to the 2-minute mark here of this half. So the Lions do not have a tremendous amount of time to work with. They do still have 2 timeouts here in this half. They've only taken the 1, I believe. Trips to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side. Quarterback going to throw a pass into the flat on the right side, connects with a receiver. That's Giddens, shakes off a couple of tackles and scampers out of bounds close at midfield.
Yep, that's another weapon for us on the outside. Isaiah Giddens, of course, we've called his name kicking the balls so far, but that was a nice little screen pass that time.
So that's a 1st down here for the Unity Lions. They've got the ball, the nose of it right at midfield with just under 2 minutes to go. And so the clock is stopped currently as the Lions roll back to the line of scrimmage here with a 1st and 10 at midfield, taking their time getting back to the line of scrimmage to run a play. Going to have a wide receiver split far on the far side, one in the slot on that side as well, but he's going to motion to the near side. They're going to hand it to him, a little pop pass, and he's going to be brought down after a pickup of about 6 or 7 yards. That was Ford.
Yep, Tyler Ford just racking up the yardage early in this first half, or late in this first half, early in the game, and I expect his yardage totals to be pretty high in this one as we continue.
So that brings up 2nd down and 4 with the ball at the 44-yard line. The Lions in Cougar territory, but don't have a tremendous amount of time to work with. 1:30 and the clock ticking here late in the first half of play. Going to have trips to the near side, 1 on the far side, and man flanked to the right of the quarterback, Schwartz. Here comes a screen pass to the near side. They get it in the hands of Sawyer, trying to get him some room and space. Not much there from the defense, so they bring him down after a short gain.
Yeah, not much there, and I think we could honestly see perhaps a deep ball coming in the future with all these screens looking to set it up for Miles Schwartz to toss it deep.
So we're going to have a timeout with 1:14 left to go in the half. We'll take it with them. Unity up 20-7, got a 2nd down and 4 coming up after a 30-second break. Well, we're going to have some Georgia Tech football for you in progress after the conclusion of this championship game. It's Georgia Tech hosting Pitt down on the flats at a Bobby Dodd Stadium, and I understand they got a sellout for this particular game, which is super exciting to see, and we'll have at least a half of that game for you coming up later on. More on that later at halftime. But we get ready for the snap. That's going to Schwartz. Quarterback run is going to be stopped there by the defense short of the 1st down, and we're closing in on that minute mark of the half.
Yeah, short run that time. And I don't know. They're running out of time to score this first half and end on a score here. We'll see what happens.
And it looks like the Cougars have taken a timeout here, and we're just going to keep it here through this one since we're close to halftime. But we are glad to have you with us, whether you're watching on the live stream or listening on the radio. Such a privilege and pleasure to be here tonight alongside a senior at Unity High School, or Unity School rather I should say, Luke Reynolds, calling some GAPPS AA 9-man football, state championship football on behalf of the Unity Lions. This has been a tremendous amount of fun, man.
Yes, sir. I think we are going to see a good one in this one as it continues. And the Cougars did come to play, no doubt. Far from a blowout.
Oh, no question. 2-score game, 1 minute and 4 seconds to go here in the second quarter. As Unity gets ready to line up here with 4th down, Miles Schwartz And they will punt it away. Giddens takes the snap, kicks the ball, and this one's going to go pretty deep. Looks like it's going to roll into the end zone. Great effort there by the Lions to try to down the ball just inside the 5-yard line. Couldn't catch up to it, but a great effort there. And not a lot of time to work with, though, for the Cougars. We'll see what they do. They scored on a big play. Didn't need a lot of time on their last drive, so you never know.
But 80 yards in 54 seconds is a tough ask against this Lions defense.
And I wouldn't expect them to come out and do anything too risky with a 2-score game at this point of the game in a championship game. So the Cougars will start at their own 20-yard line after the punt went into the end zone for a touchback. Going to send 3 wide receivers to the near side, a couple on the far side. Empty backfield for the quarterback, and this is going to be a quarterback draw as he runs up the middle. Sometimes you'll see that with an empty backfield like that. And Lawson Carroll is able to lunge forward and get a couple of yards on first down.
Yeah, Cooper Mathis making the tackle. That guy, I've said this with a lot of our linebackers, but he loves to hit people. And if any chance he has to get on the quarterback, get his hands on the quarterback, he's going down.
So the Cougars come back to line of scrimmage with 2nd and 8. 24 seconds and the clock ticking. Going to have a couple wide receivers to the near side. Quarterback drops back. He is looking to throw, airs it out, and that is going to be incomplete. The fans on this side wanted the flag. They didn't get it. That was just good coverage there by Giddens.
Yeah, I think there was a little hand fighting from number 5 on the Cougars as well as Isaiah Giddens. I thought that was a good no call for sure.
Absolutely. So an incomplete pass with 14.7 seconds. But I got to tell you got to love the enthusiasm of the fans. They are into this football game. Obviously, both teams, fans wanting their team to come home with the trophy at the end of this one. So they're passionate, very into the ball game. We do have a flag that came in, by the way.
Yeah, it was before the Lafayette lined up. So interested to see what this one is.
Officials having a meeting of the minds there at about the 25-yard line. One of the officials coming over to pick up the flag, and that's going to be against the Cougars as the Boo Birds come back out on this side of the field. They're in season.
Yeah, we've got some
in Newnan, Georgia.
We've got some passionate Cougar fans on this side.
Yes, we do. All right, so that sets up 3rd and 8 after the penalty yards. There's the snap with an empty backfield. Quarterback run, finds a seam, stays up. He is going to be getting the first down, but time is running out, so the clock will stop momentarily while the official gets the ball set.
Carroll that time brought down by William Wilson. That is a strong run for him. He's looking to prove himself in this state championship.
4 wide receivers set, empty backfield. The quarterback's going to clock it and see if they can set up a play here with 1.1 seconds left to go. So really the only thing you can do here is try to throw a Hail Mary or maybe a hook and ladder or something like that. But
yeah, maybe a Hail Mary if you're really trying to get adventurous. I feel like they might just run it up the middle given the circumstances of this one. You don't want to give Unity another score on the board before the half.
So again, 1.1 seconds. The Cougars clock the ball, so they get ready for 2nd down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Quarterback with an empty backfield and 5 wide receivers, 3 on the far side, 2 on the near, dropping back, looking to throw and gets pounded into the turf. A sack as the defense was all over him with a big play ending the half, and that was a hard hit right there.
There was some whiplash there. I think it was Cooper Mathis, the first guy to him that time. Yeah, he's going to remember that one, but we're headed to the half now.
Yes, sir, and we may get another look at that play here before we go to our first break here of halftime. And you're exactly right, that was Cooper Mathis that got there. You had 2 other guys that were in on the play. I was trying to give them some credit for their pursuit as well. Number 20, William Wilson, and then also in on the play there for the Lions was Joel Sims. Great team effort there to end the half. And at halftime, your Unity Lions lead it here in the championship game 20-7 over the Lafayette Christian Cougars out of Lagrange, Georgia. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the halftime show.
The Gold Scholarship was created by state law. It is an opportunity for individuals and businesses to tell the state where they want their tax dollars to go and what they want to support. And then the Gold Scholarship program funds financial aid for lower income students to attend.
Thanks for coming all the way over here, man. You got a hike over here.
Mine is Vanna Lee's Coppin, the Pink Sunlight.
Absolutely,
My middle
man.
name
Thank
is
you.
Consecrated to God.
Educational and academic wise, she is far superior. And so we went to several other schools trying to figure out where we needed to send her. Unity has provided not just a foundation, but a covering for her to be able to grow and prosper.
So for students, it's helpful in that it provides financial assistance to pay tuition or fees or anything like that.
Your Gold Scholarship funds are not a handout, they're a hand up. It lifts kids up to a place where they may not have had the potential to go before. She is dyslexic, she does have dyslexia. It's not because it was missed by the school, it was because she was so intelligent she hid it. And we were able to find someone through the resources that she provided that was able to test her, immediately find what she needs, and get her the resources that were available. And it was just immediate.
So it really opens up the door of opportunity for students to receive an excellent education.
I will ask first, what do you want for your child? It has definitely provided ease when it comes to making sure that our children are able to get what they needed through education here at Unity.
I thank you for letting me be at Unity because I love this school. It helped me with a lot of self-talking and just having a lot of creativity and imagination and music.
Thank you so much for your generosity and your contributions to the Gold Scholarship Program.
All right, we're back at halftime. We're in Newnan, Georgia tonight. We are at Northgate High School, about a 2-hour drive from Rome, and of course it's Unity Lions on top at halftime, 20-7 over the Lafayette Christian Cougars. And I've been saying it wrong half the time, so I apologize for our listeners or viewers that may be watching from Lafayette Christian. I'm going to get it right before the game's over. But we've got a special guest here at halftime. Super excited to catch up with Russ Dyer, who is the Director of Athletics over at Unity Christian School. And we were just kind of reminiscing during the break about how we grew up around the same neighborhood.
We did. Good to thank you for being here tonight, Matt. I was telling Matt before we came back from the break that his dad used to call me neighbor because they actually lived right up the street from us. And I'm a little bit older than you, though yeah. Matt. But, yeah, your dad and mom were always sweet to us and great neighbors.
Well, that's awesome, man. And it's a pleasure to get to talk to you here at halftime. And, of course, your Lions are up right now 20-7 over the Cougars. Done a tremendous job throughout the season. Currently undefeated in a really, really tough battle against a very good Cougars team. Both teams progressed throughout the season, gotten better, but a good-looking first half for the Lions.
Very good-looking first half. I think we came out a little rusty, if you would say, but I think we settled down and got in a groove, and excited to see how we finish out the second half here.
No question, and it's one of those situations. We made the comment earlier throughout the broadcast that, you know, both of these teams come out here wanting to win a championship, probably left a little space in the bus for the trophy, and of course you're hoping that it's going back with y'all to Floyd County and Unity School.
100%. Yeah, our kids have worked hard all year. Credit to our coaches who have, as you know, poured in hour after hour, and our kids have really worked hard this year.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about in addition to the game and the football program is just about the athletics program in general, because you've done a tremendous job trying to move things forward, come up with strategic partnerships and things of that nature to try to create quite an experience for the kids that come to school and participate in athletics at Unity. And one of the things y'all announced last week, which I was super excited about, is where y'all going to be playing your home games for the baseball team. Care to share that with the viewers and listeners?
Sure. Yes, sir, Matt. We were able to work out a deal with State Mutual Stadium this year to play all of our home baseball games. We're kind of very excited about that. About 5 years ago when I started at Unity, we did not have a baseball program. We had previously had one, a couple years prior to that, but we just didn't have enough kids in the school. When you look at a small school like us and we average 100 kids, half of those obviously are normally boys or girls. So we have 44 boys in our school. So to man a football team and also to man a baseball team is pretty tough. But credit to our coaches. I had a vision of casting it with, I don't know if you remember this name, but I'm pretty sure you do, Lee Mitchell. I coached Lee Mitchell in baseball back when he was a kid in the Bronco League, and I got in touch with Lee and I casted a vision for him. We started middle school baseball, and 4 years later, 5 years later, we're a second year of varsity baseball, and we're so excited to be playing at State Mutual Stadium.
Well, that is awesome. That is going to be fantastic, and I know it's going to be a thrill for those kids to run out on the field and be playing where professional ball players play and guys that they know their names.
That's right.
That is unbelievable.
We went out a few weeks ago and shot a promo little video. I think you guys actually got to show that in the coaches show, and thank you for doing that. And they were in awe, just catching grounders and throwing to first. And, that's the vision that we're looking for at Unity. We're trying to think about out of the box, obviously, because our facilities are lacking a little bit, but not in spirit. I mean, we look to do things always the right way, and looking out of the box to do things right.
Well, I wanted to ask you this. You mentioned earlier that you've been the director of athletics over at Unity for, I think you said, 5 years.
Yes.
And you were in the advertising industry. Is that correct? So
it's kind of funny.
What made you make the shift and come over to Unity and get into this type of a profession?
Yeah, my wife, if she's listening to this, she's probably giggling, laughing about it. But about 5 years ago, we were my son was still at Unity. He was a freshman, and we were walking in a basketball game, and at that time, Unity was without an athletic director, and I had a parent approach me in the parking lot walking in the gym and said, "Hey, you ought to do this." And I'm like, "Have you lost your mind?" There's no way. And my wife said, don't get any ideas. But within 20 minutes of that conversation, I had 6 to 7 other parents approach me in the gym saying, "You need to try this. You need to try this." And so my wife and I prayed about it, and I had to kind of put her arm behind her back because in advertising sales, you can imagine I was pretty successful and made a little bit more money than I make now, but the Lord has provided, and it was the best decision that I have ever made in my life career-wise.
That is awesome, man. So what does the Unity community, and I'm not trying to rhyme or anything that when I say that, but what does it mean to you, and what's so special about being a part of it?
Well, my kids, both my kids graduated from there, and I'm going to get emotional.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get emotional. Both my kids graduated from there, and, I watched how people invested in their life, and I watched how it changed their life. And at Unity, we teach partnership, and what I mean by that is if you're on staff at Unity, we partner with parents to, push their kids to academics, leadership, and service. And we do that through biblical worldview every day. And my kids, I saw that in their life as they were graduating and going to college, and they were just they were just a little different. And I wanted a piece of that, I got to telling people that I was in business with that, for years I was in sales and I was selling products, but now I get to sell Jesus. And,
wow.
I couldn't be at a better place.
Well, I'll share this with you, and I appreciate the emotion that you showed there. That is obviously very, very deep in terms of how it affects you to talk about that means so much to you.
Yeah.
But I oftentimes think I wish that Unity would have been around when I went to high school, and that's nothing against where I went to high school. I just think personally for me, it would have been a very good fit for me, and I'd have been more involved in things and that sort of thing. So it is a great place and a good fit for a lot of people. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a great place. When I started 5 years ago, we had a little over 300 students, and over the 5-year span, we're about 392 students now. So we're really growing. The community is really, I think, noticing us. I think not only noticing us in athletics, but, highest ACT scores, highest SAT scores in the area. And, our marketing people have done a tremendous job this year of trying to get all of that stuff out in the community. And so people are noticing this. It's been a great thing to see.
We've got Russ Dyer with us. He is Director of Athletics at Unity, has been for the last 5 years. And, of course, about the same time, I suppose, that you came in, so did Coach David Humphreys, who's done a fantastic job with your football team. This is the 4th year in a row that you guys have played in a state championship game. up 20-7 at halftime. And obviously, one of the things we talked about in the pregame is the success that he's had at a lot of different levels of football. He played college football. He coached an Arena League football team. He coached at Rome. I think they won 4 region championships when he was there, made it to the quarterfinals a few times when he was there.
Yes.
And then also coached some at college and all different levels. So how are we able to reel in a guy like Coach Humphreys that's got his pedigree?
Just contacts. I'd met Coach Humphreys the year prior, actually. We had actually called him in and talked to him and asked him would he be interested in being an offensive coordinator, which was my first year at Unity, and it just wasn't right. The timing wasn't right, and at the end of that year, I knew that we were going to be making a coach's change, and I reached back out to him. It's funny, I think he would tell you the story that I sent him a text, and I was sitting in church, and he was sitting in church, and Lord forgive me for that, but I sent him a text and said, hey, Coach, I'd like to talk to you again about potentially being the head football coach at Unity. He said, man, let's go have a Coke. Let's go sit down and have a Coke. So I casted a vision to him of where I wanted this thing to go, and we didn't overthink it, and he's been on board, and he has changed the culture of our program, and has been fantastic to see.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that worked out, and I've always enjoyed interviewing him over the years. I know I interviewed him a couple of times when he was over at Gordon Central doing previews and stuff like that, and catching up with him for this broadcast at Unity and doing a coach's show with him last week was a tremendous amount of fun. But anything else on the horizon that you want to share of happenings at the athletic department? I know that basketball season's getting cranked up. Y'all have had a lot of success there as well.
Basketball season is getting cranked up. Looking forward to another good year. They moved us up in the division this year, so competition is going to be a little bit tougher for us, but we're going to embrace that. I tell the story all the time is when I started first year, I cast a division, the leadership, that we needed to do our best to play as many local schools as we could, because we needed those people in our community to see that we're taking athletics seriously. And so some of our, we come away with some of those early basketball games of getting beat pretty bad, 30 and 40 points. And at that time, some of the parents were kind of upset at me. But as that has progressed and our kids have learned how to compete, we've seen that turn. Over the last few years, we've been able to compete locally. And if we realized if we were able to do that we would make a good deep run in our in GAPPS. And so this year I expect the same things to happen. We've already played North Cobb Christian, a very good school, and they did put it on us in girls basketball a few weeks ago. But our girls are young, and we're excited about the year, and I think we'll make another deep run in our league.
Well, that's super exciting, and as they say, iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Yes, sir, it does. Yeah.
Well, good deal. As we get ready to take another break, is there anything else that you'd like to point out and as we start to wrap up our segment?
As always, thankful for our coaches, thankful for our parents who believe in us and their partnership, that, what we're doing every day is to point our kids to the Lord and build champions for Christ.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to catch up with you.
Thanks,
and thanks
Matt.
for the opportunity to come down here and watch and call the game with one of your students. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Good
stuff. Good. I'm glad Luke's able to help you. He's a very talented young man, and going to be he's going to be great at this as he grows older.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've had the opportunity to work with him. He's been to the station a few times, been on Sports Talk Show with us and that kind of stuff, but I've never called a game with him. And then as soon as we got going, I'm like, this is good. He knows what he's doing. There's no doubt about that.
That's
so
awesome.
He's been paying attention to the guys on television and on radio and stuff like that. He knows his stuff. So.
He does a great job for us in our PA at football and basketball. Keeps the crowd engaged. Yeah, Luke has been super for our athletic department.
Bright future for that young man.
Yep.
Well, Russ, it's been great catching up with you. Thank you so
Matt.
much for your time. This has been a lot of fun chatting with you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, that's going to put a wrap on our conversation with the Director of Athletics from Unity Christian School, Russ Dyer. We'll take a 2-minute break, come back, and we'll be winding down our halftime period coming up in just a few minutes. We're glad you're with us. It's Unity Christian School football here in the championship game, up 20-7 at halftime. We're back for more of halftime after a 2-minute break.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of the low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs. through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org, and your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
Welcome you back here, and we are glad to be here tonight in Newnan, Georgia, cheering on the Unity Lions here. And we're getting a little Sweet Caroline here at halftime. But right now the Unity Lions are up 20-7 over the Lafayette Christian Cougars, and we'll talk a little bit about the scoring there from the first half of the game. If you look at the turnover battle in this football game, Unity got the best of that in the first half. There were 3 turnovers, I believe, for Lafayette Christian to 1 for the Unity Christian Lions. And I should also point out that the Lions would score after the second turnover from the Cougars there in the first quarter of the ball game. But it was one of those situations there where in the first quarter of the football game, both teams were kind of filling each other out and kind of trying to settle some championship game jitters, if you will. The Unity Lions started on offense after Lafayette Christian had won the toss, deferred to the second half. Quickly, Unity would go 3 and out. On the ensuing drive, the Cougars would run a couple of plays, fumble on the second play. Unity would get the ball back, and they would attempt a 37-yard field goal on their second drive of the game. That was missed, so we remained scoreless at that point. On the ensuing drive for the Cougars after that, they would go 3 and out, and then finally the Lions would get on the board with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the first quarter of the game on a big play there by Ford, or actually it was a 4-yard touchdown run for Ford on a big drive there for the Unity Lions. And then after that, Lafayette would get the ball, would fumble. I believe it was on the second play of that drive. It'd be picked up by Cooper Mathis. That was the second turnover for the Cougars of the first quarter of the ball game. And then after that, the Lions on the ensuing drive would score on a 4-yard touchdown run to go up by 2 scores. And that was on a quarterback run from Miles Schwartz. Forgot to write that down on my notes there. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. So they were up 14-0 when time expired, and that was right at the end of the first quarter, that second score of the game for Unity. And then when we started the second quarter, there would be an interception picked up by King from the Unity Lions. Then on Unity's ensuing drive, they would throw an interception. So that was the first turnover and only turnover of the half for the Unity Lions. On the ensuing drive by Lafayette Christian, they would punt, and then the Unity Lions would put together another scoring drive, and that would be a big play by King. He would go 44 yards to pay dirt, and that would be the third score of the game for Unity to put them up 20-0, and that happened with 5:10 left to go in the second quarter of the ball game. Then on the very next drive, you would see Lafayette Christian Cougars come up with their only points there of the first half, and that would be on a big pass play from their quarterback, who threw a touchdown pass to Connor Hudson, and I believe that was a 68-yard play, and that was their original starting quarterback, Lawson Carroll, who would throw that touchdown pass that made it a 20-7 game after the PAT was good with 4:47 left to go in the second quarter of the ball game. Unity would get the ball back, ended up coming up with no points on their last drive of the half, and then you would have Lafayette Christian get the ball back with just under a minute to play, and their drive stalled out, and that's where we are now, getting ready for the second half with Unity leading at 20-7. Luke Reynolds now back with me on the broadcast, and man, it's good first half there for the Lions.
Yes, sir, and it is far from over, which is, can't say that about every game we've played this year. We've typically ended them in the first half a lot of times. Well, but the Cougars are very much in this thing. Oh, there's no doubt about it. And we've got a 3-minute mandatory warm-up period, so this is going to be an opportunity for us to catch our breath one more time. So we're going to step out for another 2-minute break, and then we'll wind down our halftime coverage for you. But again, the Unity Lions here in the championship game over the Lafayette Christian Cougars. 20-7 is your halftime score. We're back for the start of the second half after a 2-minute timeout. Good deal, man. Well, as we welcome you back here, as we get ready to start the second half, we'll remind you the Unity Lions up 20-7 here in the championship game. We do want to thank our radio sponsors for making this possible, for providing audio for your broadcast tonight, whether you're watching the video or happen to be listening on the radio tonight. But Rome Orthopedic Center, also Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Advent Health Redmond, and Ware Mechanical. And we also want to thank Unity Christian School for sponsoring the Coaches Show the last couple of weeks. That's awesome. Here is the kick, end over end from Giddens, brought out here by the Cougars, and they are going to get it and go off to the left side of the field, and that is going to be Hinton with the return, and he's going to be dropped back inside the 30 by the Unity coverage. Yep, Caleb Hinton that time on the special teams return, but I don't think we've seen him make a massive play on offense yet. Looking for him to make a big impact in the second half.
Yeah, the Unity coverage has been outstanding, and you're right, Luke, they've done a great job keeping him at bay for the most part on these returns, and that's going to put the Cougars at the 29-yard line as far as where they're going to set up and scrimmage. So the Cougars at their own 29 as we move ahead here to the second half of the ball game with Unity leading at 20-7. Going to be a couple of wide receivers on the far side, one on the near. Cougars are working from left to right. And the quarterback takes the snap. Freshman is going to work to his right, company in the backfield, shakes off a guy, gets hit, ball comes out. Unity chasing it down, so are the Cougars, and coming out with it is going to be Unity Lions William Wilson, and that is going to be a turnover, I believe, for the Cougars. It is.
Yep, just bounced around after that fumble. I thought we'd have it on the first bounce, but the ball security not there for the Cougars.
And
Obviously a freshman there and at quarterback.
And Luke, that's been a problem for them throughout the night. And normally when you look at the end of the game, the team that wins the turnover battle has a much better shot of winning the football game than the team that didn't. Shotgun formation, Schwartz lines them up at the 26. That's where Unity's going to start at the Cougars 26. Going to run a sweep out to the right side. Gets it into the hands of Ford. He's slung around, stays up, and they finally get him to the turf, but he didn't want to go down easy.
Yeah, there were some arm tackles made on the outside. I'm surprised they got him down, but it'll be second down.
Absolutely. So after the run there from Tyler Ford, no gain there. That brings up second down and 10 here for the Lions. Still at the 26-yard line with 11:20 left to go in the third quarter in a 20-7 lead. And I believe that was, what, the fourth turnover of the game for Lafayette
I believe,
Christian?
yeah, fourth.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Going to have a man flanking to the left of the quarterback. That's Mathis. He's a blocker. Here is a quick pass up the middle, connects with the receiver. But it's going to be incomplete as it falls to the turf.
Dropped that time. Lincoln Farron was the intended receiver that time. He hasn't been a starter this season, hasn't got a whole lot of playing time, but he's in this one, and good defense there from the Cougars.
No doubt about it. That sets up a third down and 10 here for the Lions with the ball still at the 26-yard line. After a no gain on the first play on a run and then an incomplete pass, setting up this third down and 10. Schwartz lines up in the gun, get ready to take the snap with 2 receivers on the far side. This is a quarterback play. He runs it up the middle and is able to get a few yards there on third down. So did they go for it here?
I would be interested because, as we saw in the first drive, they did run out Isaiah Giddens in field goal formation. But it does look like they will look for the 4th and 8 conversion here.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm kind of not surprised to see that they look like they're going to go for it here, 4-down territory where they are on the field with the ball at the 23-yard line. So this is going to bring up 4th down and 7. We'll see if they run a play here in just a couple of moments. It looks like that's the plan. All right, pistol formation. As we get ready for Schwartz to take the snap, he drops back, looking to throw. He's got company, puts the ball in the air, connects with Sawyer, who's going to be dropped, and that's a turnover on downs.
And a strong tackle on the outside. I thought Andrea Sawyer was going to break away that time, but it'll be a turnover on downs. Solid stop from the Cougars.
Credit where credit's due. The Cougars stood tall on defense, got a stop, and now they're going to get the ball at the 26-yard line on their side of the field. And so already the second possession of the second half for the Cougars. They have only been able to pick up 1 score here in this game, and that was on a long pass play. Wide receiver on the far side, 1 on the near, as the young quarterback gets ready to take the snap here momentarily, and somebody jumped on the line of scrimmage for Unity.
And they could have had a free play that time, the Cougars, but they decided not to run it, and it'll be offsides on Unity.
And so a 5-yard play, or 5-yard penalty rather, is going to put them at the 31-yard line before they snap the ball here on first down. So the Unity Lions defense spotted them 5 yards. And now the Cougars come back to the line of scrimmage here with 1st and 5 from their own 31-yard line. Going to send a wide receiver to the near side. It's going to be Landon Childry. And here is the snap to the quarterback. Going to hand it off to another running back. He goes off to the left side. That was number 70, Jonathan May. And he's able to pick up a couple of yards. Not a lot there.
Yeah, and once again, the big defensive lineman for the Lions.
And here is the
Elliott
snap
Whiteside,
to the quarterback. Going to hand it off to another running back.
And
he
that
goes
has
off to the
been
left.
an underrated difference in the game between these two teams so far.
Going to be a personnel change here as going back out on the field here for the Cougars as Bradley Miller coming off is going to be Eli Carroll. And they will line up here for this package with 2nd down and 5, ball at the 31-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side as their quarterback Lawson Carroll gets ready to take the snap from the pistol. Man motions from right to left. Quarterback's going to run it up at the middle, and the defense is going to stop him shy of the first down by a couple of yards. That sets up 3rd down and manageable.
And he, you just hate it for the kid just being thrown into this position right here, but we'll see if he can make it the most of it going forward. Obviously, Logan Childry being injured earlier in the game.
I believe it was William Wilson who was credited with the tackle there for the Unity Lions.
Yes, William Wilson wrapping him up. Leading tackler, I believe, on the season.
And so Carroll lines them up here with a big 3rd and 5 coming up here for the Cougars. They're going to motion a man to the near side. Here's the snap. Quarterback rolls to his left. He's got company in the backfield, and he's going to be dropped, setting up 4th down, and they're going to have to punt the football.
Nowhere to go. Looked like designed a pass play there, but Happy feet in the pocket there. Just trying to scramble, but nowhere to go.
Cooper Mathis with the stop there for the Lions. Brings up 4th down and 6 with the ball at the 30 here for the Cougars, so they're going to have to punt the ball. And back handling the punting duties again is going to be Bradley Miller. Going to have one man back here for Unity at about the 35-yard line, trying to track the ball down. A nice spiraling kick falls into the arms there of Unity's Andreo Sawyer, and he is going to be brought down inside the 30. Great coverage by the punt team.
Yeah, good coverage and a solid punt. The blocks just didn't set up there for Sawyer. But it'll be 1st and 10 for Unity.
So Unity will go back to the line of scrimmage for their 2nd possession of the 2nd half. Their first time out, they would turn it over on downs. And this possession, they will start in scrimmage from the 29-yard line with 7:50 left to go here from Henry Seldon Field. We're at the home of the Vikings. But tonight, it's the Lions and the Cougars. There's the snap. Schwartz has got it. Goes to his right side, gets a good block, gets to the edge, and is able to maybe get a yard or two, but a flag comes in.
Yeah, flag all the way from the back referee there. We'll see what it was.
Officials having a meeting. It's going to be a holding against the Unity Lions, so a 10-yard penalty will back the Lions up.
Yeah, I think these Cougars fans are happy. There's been some other calls that they have not been pleased with, and some calls I'm sure they thought could have been holding. So
yeah, showing a different type of affection for the officials after that call than they did earlier, for sure. All right, the Lions have now got it with 1st and 20 at the 19-yard line after the big holding penalty. Backs them up. Going to send a couple of wide receivers to the near side. Empty backfield here for Schwartz as he gets ready to take the snap. Man goes off to the right. He looking to throw, puts it in the air. Pretty good ball. Can he catch up to it? Yes, he does. And off to the races is going to go Andreo Sawyer, untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Unity Lions. 81-yard pass play from Schwartz to Sawyer, and the light show starts here at Northgate High School. Wow, what a play.
Just a 10 out of 10 route, 10 out of 10 throw that time. Andreo Sawyer beat him off the line of scrimmage, and the safety was there but not able to catch up to that ball. Solid throw from Miles Schwartz, and what a route from Andreo Sawyer.
You're not kidding, and that happened in a hurry. The Lions now up 26-7. They get ready for the point after. So far in the game, Giddens is 2 of 3 from point afters, and we get ready for another one. Here comes the kick, and it is blocked, no doubt about it. So the score is going to remain 26-7.
Yeah, this Cougars team is very good at blocking extra points, which is somewhat surprising because a lot of the teams at the 9-man level will actually don't even have field goals on their fields. So a lot of the teams at the 9-man level will just go for 2 after the touchdown. But this Cougars team has clearly seen some field goals before.
Oh, there's no question about that. But, boy, what a beautiful pass thrown right into the breadbasket of Andreo Sawyer. And then he ran it in for a touchdown. Again, a play that's going to get you 81 yards and 6 points. And now Unity leads at 26-7. That was a highlight reel play, no question about it. That was outstanding.
Yeah, and he's been making those ever since he got to Unity. He's actually an exchange student from the Bahamas who's been playing football for us, and he is an electric player on both sides of the ball and in basketball as well.
We get ready for Giddens to tee it up here at the 40 and kick it back to the Cougars. And here comes the kick. That's going to be a strong boot. Goes into the hands of the Cougars. They're going to bring it out. Big head full of steam as he crosses the 20, gets to about the 25, graded by a wall of Unity Lions. But with the return there was Connor Hudson.
Yep, nowhere to go that time. Connor Hudson, the man who caught the lone touchdown here for the Cougars tonight. And they're looking to get something going on offense for sure.
And so the Cougars, who are out there with their backup quarterback, a freshman who's done a pretty good job here, Lawson Carroll, in a tough spot in the absence of Logan Childrey, who's played a little bit in this game but went down with an injury and has been injured for the last couple of weeks. Has stepped into what are some pretty big shoes. Here is a handoff, going to go up the middle, maybe pick up 2 or 3 yards there on first down.
Yep, and William Wilson and Cooper Mathis on the tackle that time. That's happened a lot this season. They've been exceptional tacklers so far this season.
So they're able to advance the ball to the 28, so that'll be good for a 3-yard gain. Sets up a 2nd down and 7 with 6:50 left to go. Cougars with the ball at the 28-yard line. 6:45 left to go in the third quarter. Lions lead it 26-7 here in the championship game. This is the end of the road no matter what. Going to have a couple of wide receivers to the far side, one on the near here for the Cougars. Here on 2nd down, and the defense got a little jumpy there. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Lions.
Could be a false start. Seems to be what Unity is leaning towards, what they think it is.
Officials have a conversation about it, and we will see what the officials' call is here in just a couple of moments, and that is going to go against the Lions.
And offsides that time. Close call that time. Could have gone either way, but ruled against the Lions.
So that penalty spots the Cougars 5 yards and sets them up on with a 2nd and short here. 2nd and 2 with the ball now advanced to the 33-yard line. They are going to line up in a pistol formation with Lawson Carroll at quarterback, who's ready to take the snap with a wide receiver to the near side. He is going to look off to his left, got company in the backfield, and he threw the ball at the last second, and that is going to be incomplete.
And those are 2 guys I would hate to see coming at me as a freshman quarterback. William Wilson and Elliott Whiteside coming right at him up the middle that time. Middle linebacker blitz called up there. And he did get the pass off as an incompletion, not a sack.
Just barely avoided the sack there by the skin of his teeth. But did have to absorb some contact in the process. They're going to roll up in a power set. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off and try to pound it for those couple of yards. And they should be. Well, they hand it off to number 88, and they get the first down, Liam Carroll. Wow.
And that did get the Cougar fans to their feet that time. And they're looking for some momentum this time.
So they spot the ball at the 37-yard line, and the Cougars have got a fresh set of downs here with under 6 minutes to play now here in the third quarter. Going to send a couple of wide receivers off to the far side, also one in the slot on that side, one on the near side. Going to swing it out to the left side and trying to get his man in space, but the defense was on top of it right away, and with a nice stop was Tyler Ford.
Yep, just nowhere to go that time. Very clearly a wide receiver screen that time from the Cougars, right from the get-go.
And they passed it to Connor Hudson, and again he was stopped by Ford. So that sets up a 2nd down and 14 after the loss of 4. And they will shift around some personnel as they get ready for the next down here in just a couple of moments. And for anybody that's tuned in to WLAQ tonight saying, where's the Georgia Tech game? We're going to join it in progress after the conclusion of the championship game that we've got for you tonight. Broadcasting courtesy of the Unity Lions. Quarterback under center in their power set. They're going to fake the handoff, go play action, put the ball in the air, and that is going to be incomplete. Flag comes in. Defender was all over the wide receiver. They're going to throw a flag on a PI there, pass interference.
Yeah, just a little too early from Isaiah Gins that time. And, of course, the wide receiver did fall to the ground, which is the officials are usually going to call that one.
So just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Unity leads at 26-7 after the pass interference call. We will see the official mark off the penalty yards, and that is going to give the Cougars a fresh set of downs as they get the ball all the way out to the 48-yard line, just shy of Unity territory. And so the Cougars go back to the line of scrimmage in a pistol formation here for 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line, just shy of midfield. There's the snap. Quarterback rolls to the left, throws a screen pass, connects with his favorite target, Hudson, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds after a pickup of 5 or 6 yards. So an effective play there, Luke.
Yeah, thrown out of bounds that time after by Blake Hall. But that's a quick little rhythm pass that you kind of want to give to your freshman quarterback coming into a situation like this against an amazing defense. So a good play call from the Cougars coaching staff.
So that sets up a 2nd down and 6 now from the 48-yard line of Unity side of the field. Cougars on the move, pistol set. There's the snap. Quarterback going to throw the ball up midfield and intercepted. Grabbing it out of the air was, of course, the Unity Christian Lions. Andreo Sawyer still has it and cuts up towards the midfield and gets dropped at the 40. What a play.
Andreo Sawyer, just really the definition of a ball hawk in this defense and coming up with picks all over the field all throughout the season. And he gets that one and gives another chance to the offense.
So Unity's going to get the ball at their own 40-yard line after another interception, and the turnovers continue to plague the Lafayette Christian Cougars. That has been a massive issue for them in this football game. As a matter of fact, Luke, I think they're fortunate to only be down 26-7, as many troubles as they've had with the turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, as we've said before, that if you just can't hold on to the ball, you're going to struggle to win the game. And that's the situation they're in right now.
Schwartz ready to take the snap. Cooper to his side. He's going to follow Cooper, goes out to the right side, bounces out right. Oh, he lost the football, and the Cougars have got it. So a turnover there from the Lions. And coming out with it was Cody Battistini, and they gave it right back to him.
There we go. Ball security issues on both sides. Just let it slip from his grasp that time, Miles Schwartz. But yeah, another chance for the quarterback Carroll here from the Cougars.
So the Cougars will get it with 4:24 left to go. The Lions possessed it for about 9 seconds there before coughing it up, and now the Cougars are going to run it to the line of scrimmage here, which is at the 46 on the Lions side of the field, and see if they can come up with some points after the turnover. Going to shift around some personnel. They want to get one of their main guys out there, Connor Hudson, here before the snap. They go to him a lot. And so we get ready for their quarterback, Lawson Carroll, to take the snap. He's going to fan a guy out to the right, looking for him. Now looking downfield, he's going to have to tuck the football and run, being chased after, and gets clobbered at about the 44-yard line.
Yeah, he didn't see Blake Hall coming that time, but Blake Hall saw him. So, yeah, he hit the turf pretty hard that time. But, you know, you got to have the toughness if you're going to be the starting quarterback, and that's what he is in this game.
And especially if you're playing against the Unity Lions, because they're coming for you.
They are coming for you, and he's already experienced a sack or two. He's already experienced a fumble. He's been put through the ringer so far, but he wants to put a score on the board.
So Cougars with 2nd down and 9, and a man jumped off sides there for the defense.
Yeah, the hard count got him that time.
I think it was Elliott Whiteside who jumped across.
Yeah, Elliott Whiteside. Obviously, he loves getting after the quarterback, so I think he just simply got too excited that time.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 4 to go, with the ball now at the 40-yard line after the penalty yards are assessed. And the Cougars go back to the huddle. Now they break the huddle, go back to the line of scrimmage here with just under, with 3:42 left to go here in the 3rd quarter of the football game. We're almost down to the final frame of the season. Man motions to the near side. Quarterback is going to hand it off. They go the other way, and the defense is ready. Bring him down. Not much doing on that play for their ball carrier, who was Jonathan May.
Yeah, Jonathan May just trying to lower the shoulder that time. Physicality through the middle that time. Short gain, but you love to see it from the Cougars.
Cougars are going to run Jacob Gibbs out onto the turf here for this next play. Gibbs is a sophomore, getting some playing time here in the championship game. Lawson Carroll's going to line them up in their pistol set. 3rd down and 3, ball at the 39-yard line here for the Cougars. Trying to climb back in this game, trailing your lines 26-7. Man motions to the right side. Quarterback is going to run the football, chased by 3 Lions, and going to be brought to the ground. Riding him was number 2, Tyler Ford. Had 2 other guys that got in there late.
Yeah, I think Tyler Ford was expecting to lay even a bigger hit on him that time. He lowered his shoulder, but Carroll was able to stand up for a little bit, but to the ground that time. Tackle for a loss.
So that brings up 4th down and 5, and it is decision time here for the Cougars, down 26-7, and time dwindling in the 3rd quarter. It looks like they're going to opt to go for it. It's 4-down territory here for the Cougars. They go to their power set. Quarterback ready to take the snap. Carroll, he's got it, turns, and we've got a procedural penalty, I believe, or did we get a timeout? Nope, timeout. Timeout before they ran the play was called by Lafayette Christian, so we're going to take one as well. But it's 26-7, 2:08 left to go 3rd quarter. We're back in 30 seconds. Glad to be back with you. We're live in Newnan, Georgia, and this is the Georgia Association of Private and Parochial Schools 9-man AA state championship football game between your Unity Lions and also the Lafayette Christian Cougars. Right now the Lions on top 26-7. It looked like the Cougars were going to go for it on 4th and 5. They took a timeout. They come back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like they'll line up in that power set and see if they can get enough yards to keep the chains moving. They know they've got a score here on this drive. There's the snap. Quarterback rolling out, looking to pass, puts the ball in the air, and that is caught but out of bounds, and that'll be a turnover on downs for the Cougars.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm surprised that he even caught that one the way that he did. That was a unable to step into it throw there from Carroll. He was throwing off his back foot and throwing up a prayer, but it'll be a turnover on downs.
Absolutely, and Unity's going to get the ball back at the 41-yard line on their side of the field. So yet again, Unity's going to have good field position, and if they can score on this drive, that'll create enough distance that may be able to get this one. We still have a lot of time left, still 2 minutes left of the 3rd quarter, another quarter to go, but time is certainly ticking here.
Yeah, as my mom would say, a whole lot of football left to be played.
Absolutely. Man motions to the right, and that is going to be handed off and up the middle for about 5 yards. That was a good positive play there in the hands of Brady King. Effective running.
5-yard carry, and I would venture to say that the Lafayette coaching staff is holding their breath every time Brady King gets his hands on the ball because he is a fast receiver.
So, Luke, they're going to line up with a couple of guys to the near side, one on the far side here with 2nd down and 6. And the Lions pretty deliberate here with each play because they want to bleed as much clock as they possibly can while staying in rhythm on their offense. But Schwartz is ready to take the snap. Mathis in the backfield with him. There's the snap. They go back to King. He tries to run it up the middle as he cuts up and gets brought down just a couple of yards shy of the 1st down.
Couple of yards shy, and I would expect another run play here. I think we're all out of Andreo Sawyer deep shots, but I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think a very effective strategy here for the Lions is to try to keep it on the ground, get 1st downs, eat as much clock as you can, and see if you can get in the end zone and create a little bit more distance on the scoreboard. But I'm with you. I think they're going to run it a lot here late in this football game. But this is 3rd down and 1, and the Lions will wind the clock down as far as they can. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. As Schwartz gets ready to take the snap, he's got the ball, he's going to run it. He's got the 1st down, and the chains are moving.
Yep, just keep the chains moving like you said, and that will take a few more minutes or a few more seconds off the clock here. as we near to the fourth quarter.
So 49-yard line is where they're going to have it, just across the 49-yard line, and it looks like we may have possibly seen the last play here of the third quarter. 15 seconds on the clock. Unity in no hurry to get back on the ball at the line of scrimmage and run a play, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter. So we're glad you're with us tonight. Unity up as we get ready for the final quarter of the season, hoping that it results in a championship trophy going back to Rome and Floyd County with the Unity Lions. 26-7, one more quarter to lock up in the regular season. We're back in 1 minute and back for the final quarter. Unity Lions on the ball, 1st and 10 from the 49 on the Cougars side of the field with a 26-7 lead as we officially start the final quarter. They're going to give the ball to Giddens. He stays up and is able to gash them for 6 or 7 yards. So the fourth quarter is off to a good start here.
Yeah, it's a good start, and that's what it takes is these efficient 6-yard carries. Those are starting to chip away at the Cougars as we continue.
Yeah, get first downs, play a little bit of keep away here. Sometimes your best defense is going to be your offense, just keeping the ball out of the hands of the other team, not giving them an opportunity to have an opportunity with the rock to get back into the ball game. And right now, Unity Christian School is in firm control of this ball game, up 26-7. Can't have any turnovers. That's another thing.
Definitely can't have any turnovers, but
2nd and 3, going to throw a pass out to the far side to Sawyer. He shakes off a man, now cuts towards the near side, running from sideline to sideline, cuts inside. There's a flag, so probably this is going to be a hold, and this will be coming back.
Quite the improvisation there, reversing fields that time from Sawyer, but even a block there laid by the quarterback, Miles Schwartz, but flag on the play.
Still haven't seen the officials call, but I'm pretty sure it must have been a hold. And so now the official will mark off the penalty yards. And that is going to back Unity all the way up to about the 43-yard line on their side of the field.
And the holding calls have actually been, there's been a few of them in this game for Unity.
Unity's going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side. One is in the slot. Schwartz is going to motion that man off to the left, going to run a jet sweep out to the left side. He stays up. He's able to get about 8 yards of the penalty yards back. Still got a long way to go on 3rd down, Luke.
And Tyler Ford actually running over a Cougar that time. Good weight room play there, but yeah, 3rd down here.
Well, they're fueled by pancakes today, I understand. They went to the Noon Optimist annual Flippin' for Youth pancake breakfast. I saw some pictures online. Coach Humphreys told me about it earlier in the week, and I had tickets, was going to go this morning, but slept a little bit late, was a little bit lazy. I didn't get over there, but looks like they had a great time. 3rd down and 13. Man motions to the near side. Here's the snap. Schwartz is working his way to the right side, puts the ball in the air, and catching it is Giddens, and he is going to float his way into the end zone. 52-yard play to pay dirt. A touchdown pass to Isaiah Giddens, and the Lions strike again.
Once again, one more beautiful throw and catch just over the shoulder. Isaiah Giddens looking it in and then just showing off the track star speed all the way down the sideline. Another Lions score.
So the Lions now lead at 32-7 after the big-time pass from Schwartz to Giddens. And the Lions, as we talked about just a couple of moments ago, felt like they were in control of the game, and now they really do, up 32-7. Here comes the point after, and that one is going to be good off the boot of Giddens, and now the score moves to 33-7.
And quite the drive for Isaiah Giddens, obviously accounting for all 7 points.
That's exactly right. Good observation there, man. So 9:55 left to go in the ball game, Luke, and Unity looks well poised to hoist a trophy tonight. You don't want to leave anything to chance, but bar anything crazy happening, looks like there may be some hardware going back to Unity Christian School today.
Yep. It's going to be quite the effort needed for the Cougars if they want to try and make a comeback of this one. And in all honesty, they're in danger of it becoming quite the blowout, honestly. So we'll see.
We'll have a brief post game after the game. We still got 10 minutes to go. I don't want to talk like the game is over, but I'm just saying this for people who are tuned into the radio tonight wanting to hear some Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets football against Pitt. We're going to join that one in progress coming up shortly after the conclusion of this broadcast. So a brief post game so we can get you to Georgia Tech football. All right, Isaiah Giddens has it teed up, ready to kick it back to the Cougars. That's going to be end over end, pretty deep kick. Floats into the hands of one of the Cougars who's going to bring it out from the far sidelines, gets a head full of steam and gets it across the 25-yard line before the coverage catches up to him and brings him to the turf.
Yep, another solid kick from Isaiah Giddens. And they'll have a fairly long field to drive if the freshman quarterback Carroll is looking to get his Cougars back into this one.
And Hudson was the return man that time. He got his team out to the 27, so that's where they'll line up and start this particular drive here in the fourth quarter. 9:47 left to go. This is the first possession of the fourth quarter here for the Cougars. Cougars will run back to the line of scrimmage, going to send a couple of wide receivers to the near side. Quarterback lines up in a pistol. The freshman quarterback, Lawson Carroll, ready to take the snap, motions a man to the right. He's going to run a jet sweep out to the right side, finds some room on the edge, stays up, and eventually gets hit hard there by William Wilson.
And Caleb Hinton bringing the crowd to life a little bit for Lafayette. And I thought we'd see a little bit more of Hinton on the offensive side of the ball, obviously making a few key pass breakups for the Cougars on the defensive side of the ball, but somewhat neutralized by the Lions tonight.
Absolutely, and they're going to get the ball out to the 32-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5 here with 9 minutes and some change left to go here in this championship football game. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Pistol formation for Carroll, the quarterback, who's ready to take the snap here on 2nd and 5. Drops back, puts the ball in the air quickly, connects with the receiver, shakes off a tackle, and is brought down just across the 40-yard line. Great grab there, Luke, by their receiver, Caleb Hinton, that you just referred to.
They are getting Caleb Hinton involved, so I'm sure that was part of the coach's talk here.
Maybe they're sitting in front of you and heard that piece of advice and took it.
Yeah, he's quite the athlete. His brother is actually the quarterback for the middle school team that won the state championship this year. Called one of his games, and he's quite the quarterback, so they'll have that coming up.
Pistol formation on 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Going to try to throw a screen pass. That falls incomplete, left it short of the intended receiver.
Yeah, and just the mechanics a little off that time. The feet not set that time for Carroll, and I think that caused the incompletion there.
And a frustrating play for them because you just, complete a pass on the previous play and get yourself a 1st down, set yourself up to try to move the ball, and then not able to string enough plays together here to keep things moving forward. So we'll see what happens here on 2nd down and 10. There's the snap. Quarterback puts the ball in the air, connects with his man out in space, gets some room, and that's a positive play across midfield and across the 45-yard line for a 1st down. They hit Connor Hudson on that play and get another 1st down.
Yes, Connor Hudson. I'm sure he has a pretty high amount of receiving yards in this one. He scored that long touchdown a while back in the first half. Feels like a long time ago now. But he's looking for another one, and the Cougars are driving.
And good job by the young quarterback there to shake off that last play, make something happen on the second. And now they get ready here for first down. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 45-yard line on Unity side of the field with trips to the near side, a receiver on the far side. The quarterback's got it. He drops back looking to throw, puts the ball in the air. Good spiral, and that's going to fall incomplete. 2 flags come in on a pass interference call.
Yeah, I do believe Caleb Hinton had a step on Brady King that time, and he's patting himself on the chest. He knows that was on him. He kind of did take Caleb Hinton to the ground that time, pass interference on the Lions.
And so perhaps a little bit of life here for this Cougars team who still has their backs up against the wall as time is ticking. We're under the 8-minute mark here of the final quarter of the football game and of the season. The Lions lead at 33-7, but the Cougars going to lay it out all on the field, especially in a championship game, and fight until the end of the game. See if they can give themselves a chance to climb out of the hole late. 2 receivers on the far side, pistol formation. Quarterback takes the snap, puts the ball in the air, and he connects as he was going to the ground with the receiver Landon Childrey. Pass is going to be complete. Let's see how many yards he nets on the play there. About 4 yards.
Yeah, and I mean, if nothing else in this game, even if they don't score another touchdown, which, I mean, they're very possibly could score multiple other touchdowns in this game, but if nothing else, you get experience for your freshman quarterback in a state championship game, which is always something of value as you move forward in his career.
Fans stomping their feet here on the Cougars side, trying to get some energy to the team as the quarterback takes the snap, puts the ball in the air, and that's way overthrown. Nobody in the vicinity. That's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, and William Wilson providing the pressure that time. He just had no time to throw that one.
And so 6:46 remains in the contest. We've got a 3rd down and 6 coming up here for the Cougars as they bring Eli Carroll out to the huddle here for this package. They get ready to break the huddle, go back to the line of scrimmage. We're in Newnan, Georgia tonight. Northgate High School. And it's the scene of the GAPPS AA State Championship tonight. Here, I think the defense may have took the bait again. Yep. No.
No, it was on Unity encroachment.
And as you say, it's one of those situations you don't want to see those types of penalties, but I just think it's that the Lions are just ready to pounce on defense and get a little jumpy there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse, in terms of penalties.
All right, the Cougars in that power set. Here's the snap on 3rd and short. Did they get it? Yes, they did. Able to run it through there with Liam Carroll.
The up man, the fullback of that time. Old school football for the first down.
Ball is now going to be inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line after the run, as you pointed out, from the fullback Liam Carroll. We've got 6:20, clock moving, 1st and 10, ball in the red zone here for the Cougars. They've only scored 1 touchdown. It was on a big pass play in the first half of the football game. Been held scoreless in the second half. Quarterback drops back, looking to throw, all kind of company in the backfield, chasing him around, puts the ball in the air towards the end zone. Flag comes in. The catch is made in the back of the end zone by number 55, Bradley Miller.
Boy, a catch there, Bradley Miller. That would have been good in the NFL, I believe. He had 2 feet in the back of the end zone that time for the touchdown, but a flag and a man down for the Lions.
So we'll wait for the officials' call here in just a couple of moments. That's going to be against the Cougars. So this one is coming back. We will mark off the touchdown. Never went up on the board. So the Lions still lead at 33-7. It was an electric play, as you pointed out, but there was a penalty against the Cougars. And I think they said it was a blindside block, if I heard correctly.
That is what they said,
Okay.
a blindside block. I did not see it, but I'm sure it was there, back behind the line of scrimmage.
All right, looks like we're going to have a timeout here. Which team took the timeout?
We have an injured player
okay, I got
down
you.
there.
I don't see him. That's
I think it's in your blind spot.
okay. I
Down
got
there
you.
in the
now.
back of the
okay.
north end zone.
I see it now. Okay, good deal. Well, we're going to keep it right here. And again, we're glad you're with us here for live coverage tonight of Unity Christian School playing in the GAPPS AA 9-man state football championship here. And again, at the end of the night, this will be the end of the football season for the Lions and hopefully taking back a championship trophy. And with 5:50 left to go in the game and a 33-7 lead, it looks like the Lions are well on their way. So super exciting night here at Northgate High School down here in Newnan, Georgia. And if you've never been to Northgate High School, it's about a 2-hour drive. You can take different routes to get here. I went down 278 and 101 and Post Road. I'm trying to think of all the little roads that I ended up on before I got over here. But it was a beautiful day for a drive to come down here for a football game, and we got us a nice evening for the game, man. It's turned into a really great evening.
Definitely. I mean, you know, you see some of these games in the NFL. I was watching a Chicago Bears game the other day where it was snowing in November football, so this is a serene day.
Right now it's about 68 degrees, and we've got mostly clear skies. Of course, thankfully, all the rain that we had last night and this morning got out of here before game time, because you never want to see a situation where you've got a game that's affected by the weather and stuff like that, to your point. So great to see that we got a great night for a football game tonight here on the last night of the season. All right, Lafayette Christian lines up after the penalty with 1st down and 25 with the ball on the 33-yard line on Unity's side of the field. They're going to line up with 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side, and 1 man in the backfield with their quarterback, that's Lawson Carroll. He drops back looking to throw, kind of a wobbly pass. He does connect with the receiver, though. That's Landon Childrey, who shakes off a couple of defenders and dives towards the pylon, knocked out of bounds about 3 yards short of the goal line.
What a catch from Landon Childrey, just adjusting to the ball in air. I think he was expecting it to be over his shoulder for a second there, but he worked all the way back to the ball. And a 1st down for the Cougars in the red zone.
Absolutely. Now it's going to be 1st and goal with the ball at the 2-yard line. So the Cougars, here with 5:38 left to go in the game, going to try to punch in another score and try to scratch and claw their way a little bit closer on the scoreboard. They're going to line up in their power formation. Quarterback under center, takes the snap, he hands it off, and they pound it towards the goal line, and that young man is in. We saw another hard run for him early in the drive. That was Liam Carroll, who punches it in from 2 yards out for the score.
How about it? Liam Carroll, the fullback that time in the formation. And they are waving the flag here on the Lafayette sideline. They're fired up about it.
As they should be. 33-13 is your score, so still a 20-point lead here for the Lions as we get ready for the Cougars to try to tack on the extra point here in just a couple of moments. And I would assume they'll probably just go for 2 here.
It looks like it so far.
And so the Cougars back to the line of scrimmage here. They're going to throw a pass towards the end zone that falls incomplete.
Yep, and it looks like, was that? Yep, Tyler Ford on the coverage to the outside.
So the score remains 33-13 and a 20-point lead here for the Unity Lions, and they will get the ball back with 5:30 left to go. And what do you expect to see on this drive, Luke?
Honestly, I think we've been alluding to it in past drives, but just ground and pound at this point. Coach Humphreys knows how to manage that clock, and I assume we'll see some stuff from Brady King and Tyler Ford, and of course Miles Schwartz, quarterback, with the quarterback runs.
And so we'll see their kicker run out and kick it back to the Unity Lions here in just a couple of moments. Again, that is Bradley Miller, 1 man back here for the Lions. And that is going to be Tyler Ford, who is going to line up at about the 15-yard line. And again, we've got 5:30 left to go here in this championship football game.
And I wouldn't count out a sneaky little onside kick here from the Cougars.
Very good point. So again, they line up, maybe perhaps trying to steal a possession, and they are going to go for the onside kick, and it is going to be recovered by the Unity Lions. Good heads-up play there by the Lions, and coming out with the ball, and the recovery is going to be Will Wilson.
Yep, William Wilson.
So William Wilson recovers the ball there on the onside attempt by the Cougars, and that's going to set up the Lions with great field position at the 48. That took 7 seconds off the clock, so now there are 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the ball game. Schwartz lines his team up here. Going to send a man in motion from right to left. Quarterback's going to run it up the middle. He finds a nice seam, stays up, shakes off a guy, and now is off to the races inside the 25-yard line. A big play by the quarterback.
And the Lions are starting to feel it now with 5 minutes remaining, that this one might be on its way to a championship ring.
And so that was a 24-yard run for the quarterback, Miles Schwartz, who sets his team up with first and goal from the 24, or not first and goal, but first and 10 rather, from the 24-yard line deep in Cougar territory. We'll get to it eventually. Unity's going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side, Andreo Sawyer, and then also you're going to have Isaiah Giddens on that left side. One on the near side is Ford. And the quarterback is just going to run forward with it. Got spun around at the end of the play, but he still was able to get about 5 yards there on that first down play.
Yep, fighting, showing shades of the previous quarterback here at Unity, Evan Whiteside, who is just a powerful runner at the quarterback position. And you would think Miles, being a little on the smaller side compared to Evan Whiteside, would be a little more of a shifty runner, but he can lower that shoulder when it comes down to it.
And Luke getting that push up front there from guys like Davis Blankenship, Elliott Whiteside, Landon Groover. Those guys have just done a great job all night.
Yeah, just one of the best offensive lines to ever play at Unity. Those 3 guys, all seniors, all in my class, great guys.
2nd and 5. There is going to be the jet sweep going to the left side. Good blocks there for Ford, who got spun around and out of bounds, close to about the 6-7 yard line, it looks like.
Yep, fighting in to that red zone. And going back to what you were saying about that offensive line, just a solid, just almost football junkies is the term that I would use to describe that offensive line. Just loves to block, loves to hit, loves to watch film. That's Elliott Whiteside, Davis Blankenship, Landon Groover, all those guys.
And Luke, 2 of those guys that you mentioned, Elliott Whiteside and Davis Blankenship, ahead of the state championship game last year, came out to the radio station. They were on the same morning show that you've been on with me a couple of times, and man, just really mature guys. Were very comfortable in that setting. They made a great impression on me, the way that they handled that interview last year.
And Elliott Whiteside shifting to the backfield here.
Little wrinkle there. Ball ends up on the turf, and I think that well, let's see who got it. I think the Cougars came out with it. Yep, they sure did. Coming out with it was number 81, that is Toby Parrott, and the Lions have turned the ball over and gave it back here with 3:30 left to the Cougars.
That's a shame. It was looking like it was going to be a handoff to the big lineman, Elliott Whiteside, that time, but he might get another chance here. We'll see how the Cougars' drive turns out.
So Toby Parrott recovers the fumble, and now the Lafayette Christian Cougars have got the ball with 3:30 left. So not a lot of time to work with here, and they got a long way to go. They got the ball at their own 10 is where they're going to start this drive. They'll line up from a pistol set. 2 wide receivers on the near side. Quarterback is dropping back, looking to throw. He's got company, takes a sack. Ball came out. It is picked up by the Cougars, and they'll run it out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. That was quite the adventure.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one. William Wilson coming off the edge that time, and the quarterback for Lafayette just kept pump faking. And I was expecting a strip sack there, and it happened.
Well, you know, and that play had problems from the very beginning, but you may have noticed that the quarterback and the running back kind of ran into each other, and that kind of set the tone there for a play that was going to be busted up from the outset.
Exactly.
So the ball is at the 15 with 2nd down and 5 to go
Quarterback drops back out of the gun. He's rolling to his right. He's going to tuck the football and run. Sees a lot of green grass. He's got the first down across the 30 and a stiff arm at the 35. Cuts towards the near sidelines, and they finally get him down at midfield. Dropping him to the turf for the Unity Lions, I think, was Blake Hall.
Yep, that was Blake Hall on the tackle, but a heck of a run that time with the play breaking down. Liam Carroll trying to play hero here.
So Carroll, the quarterback, gets him across to the 50-yard line with 2:30 left to go. Gives the fans here on this side of the field something to cheer about here late in the game. Right now they trail by 3 scores, though, with 2:24 left to go. Still a big hill to climb. There's the snap, and a flag came in just before the play. Offsides, it looks like.
Could have been a false start on the Cougars.
And they're saying
But
encroachment
right,
against
yep.
the Lions. So that's going to spot the Cougars 5 yards. But time is a-ticking. 2:15 left to go in this ball game. So this time they're going to line up. Carroll is. Lawson Carroll with 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near here for 1st and 5. There's the snap. Carroll drops back. Company in the backfield. He is hit just as he throws the pass. He connects with the receiver, and he is able to get maybe 3 yards out of the play. The receiver was Landon Childry.
Yeah, good wrap-up tackle that time. And I've actually just noticed we have a new face into the game at quarter, number 23, Charles Glover. Just a sophomore, sneaky athlete guy. He's had not a whole lot of playing time, but he has kicked an extra point this season, last playoff game, and it was good. So
2 wide receivers to the near side. Pistol formation as the quarterback Carroll takes the snap, dropping back, looking to throw. Company in the backfield, chasing him around. He gets rid of it just in time. Passes incomplete. He absorbs the hit.
yeah, he absorbed the hit right to the chest that time from William Wilson. And that's, I imagine the breath is probably knocked out of him right now.
Oh, man. That's not a hit I'd want to absorb, that's for sure. So 1:16 left to go until the buzzer sounds and a champion is crowned here tonight. And I think we know which team that's going to be by this point, with a 33-13 lead for your Unity Lions. And so the Cougars come back to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what they dial up here on 3rd down and 2. Couple more plays to work with here. There's the snap. Quarterback Carroll drops back, puts the ball in the air. Pretty good spiral. It's intercepted, and that is going to do it, folks. Interception picked up there by the Unity Lions and Andreo Sawyer. And with 1 minute to go, that's going to put some icing on the cake there.
And what a stat line for the senior in his last game, Andreo Sawyer. 2 picks and a touchdown in this one, and I'm sure lots of receiving yards.
So now the Unity Lions, after the pick, they're going to get in their favorite formation that every team wants to be in, especially at the end of a championship game. They call it the victory formation.
Yes, sir. And
so 1:01 left to go here in this contest, and the Unity Lions get ready to line up. Going to have 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side as the quarterback gets ready to take the snap and a knee. And one more time, and this thing is going to be in the books. And the Unity Lions are getting ready to celebrate a championship, their second in the last 3 years. They've played in, 4 championships in a row?
I believe so. That's what it is. And quite the game. Quite the game.
So I wonder if Coach Humphreys is about to get a nice cold Gatorade bath on the sidelines. I'm trying to watch for that.
I would hope so. That's tradition. Somebody's got to be on that. Come on, guys.
And that is the last knee. The players are heading for the Gatorade. It's going to be a cold night for Coach Humphreys here in just a couple of seconds. And congratulations to the Unity Christian School Lions. They are officially, in about 9 seconds, your GAPPS AA 9-man football state championship winners of 2025. Congratulations to Coach Humphreys and the Lions. They are the champions tonight. Wow, what a scene here tonight in Newnan, Georgia. And here comes the Gatorade bath. We're getting it on the live stream. They're trying to chase him down. You know it's coming, but there it is. And even if you know it's coming, it still shocks the heck out of you, but it's got to feel really good.
It is.
But Luke, at least he got a night where it was about 70 degrees and wasn't 20 degrees like it could be this time of year.
That's right. November football gets pretty dangerous with the Gatorade baths, but what a team. What a Lions team. One of the best to ever field a team here at Unity.
So the Unity Christian School Lions are going to finish the season 12-0, and again are the Georgia Association of Private and Parochial Schools AA 9-man football state champions tonight. Congratulations to Coach Humphreys and the Unity Lions. This is going to be a moment that these young men and coaches, and of course the community and families are going to savor for a long time. And you too, Luke. I mean, you're a student at Uni. This is going to be very special for you.
Yes, sir. I love it for my senior guys on this team. I'm reminded of our captain who's leading the high fives at the end of this one, number 72, Elliot Whiteside. We were at a pool party this summer, and he was just out of the blue. He was like, I'm trying to win a state championship this year, man. And I was like, that's the mentality. That's the mentality you have to win a state championship. And I know all those guys, Landon Groover, Andrea Sawyer, Davis Blankenship, Wyatt Crowley, Joel Sims, all those guys just really showing that senior energy, showing that senior leadership, and I'm glad they got it.
And congratulations to the Lafayette Christian Cougars on a great season. Of course, credit where credit's due to them. They put up a tremendous fight, and this football game came up short 33-13, but they just capped off a 10-2 season. They went 5-0 in their region and end up being the runners-up. Obviously, they would love to be hoisting the trophy, as the Unity Lions are about to do here in just a couple of moments. But they had a tremendous season, and you want to make sure you tip your cap to those young men and coaches on a job well done throughout 2025. Great job.
A tremendous season, and definitely a well-traveled fan base. They definitely showed out here at Newnan, the Cougar fan base. They were on their feet about everything. We could actually feel our press box shaking from the feet stomping on the stands from this Cougar fan base.
And right now, all the players have come together at midfield as they will have a prayer together at the end of this game. And so great to see that here in this league. And there's no doubt you can also check out coverage of the Rome News Tribune coming out. I guess probably be in the paper early in the week next week, but I see a legendary photographer for the newspaper down there, Stephen Eckhoff, who is down there taking some pictures. So they're going to have some great coverage for you in addition to the video coverage that you got tonight from Northwest Georgia Media. So good stuff. But right now we're watching the team down on the field. We're going to go ahead and take a break for 2 minutes. We'll come back and have a brief wrap up because we've got a Georgia Tech football game to get to you on the radio side. But savor it, Unity fans. Your Unity Christian School football team, they're state champions, and they cap it off tonight. We'll be back in 2 minutes to wrap up.
The Gold Scholarship was created by state law. It is an opportunity for individuals and businesses to tell the state where they want their tax dollars to go and what they want to support. And then the Gold Scholarship program funds financial aid for lower income students to attend a private school in the state of Georgia.
My name is Savannah Elise Cochran, nickname Sunlight. My little name means consecrated to God.
Educational and academic-wise, she is far superior. And so we went to several other schools trying to figure out where we needed to send her. Unity has provided not just a foundation, but a covering for her to be able to grow and prosper.
So for students, it's helpful in that it provides financial assistance to pay tuition or fees or anything like that.
Your Gold Scholarship funds are not a handout, they're a hand up. It lifts kids up to a place where they may not have had the potential to go before. She is dyslexic. She does have dyslexia. It's not because it was missed by the school. It was because she was so intelligent, she hid it. And we were able to find someone through the resources that she provided that were able to test her, immediately find what she needs, and get her the resources that were available. And it was just immediate.
So it really opens up the door of opportunity for students to receive an excellent education.
I would ask first, what do you want for your child? It has definitely provided ease when it comes to making sure that our children are able to get what they needed through education here at Unity.
I thank you for letting me be at Unity because I love this school. It helped me with a lot of self-talking and just having a lot of creativity and imagination and music.
Thank you so much for your generosity and your contributions to the Gold Scholarship Program.
Right now we're watching the Lafayette Christian Cougars receiving the second place trophy here as runners-up in the state championship game, and in just a couple of moments we'll have the opportunity to watch the presentation of the trophy here to the Unity Lions. And we're glad you're with us here tonight for coverage of the GAPPS AA 9-man championship football game, and job well done by the Unity Lions, Coach Humphreys and the team on picking up this victory tonight. I know it's very, very special to him, no question about it.
Yep, Coach Humphreys, truly one of the best coaches to ever do it here in Northwest Georgia, and he completes the season with the only state champion in Northwest Georgia and the only undefeated team.
There you go, and I do want to take an opportunity here as we get ready to start to wind down the broadcast, and if you're watching on the video right now, you're watching the presentation. They'll take a picture here with the state championship banner in just a couple of moments. I want to talk about the seniors. Of course, you are a part of the senior class over at Unity Christian School, and of course we'll start with number 1, Andreo Sawyer. You want to talk about a young man that had a night tonight, had a couple of picks there in the second half, had the final pick of the game that put the icing on the cake at the end of the night. Just a great job by that young man tonight in his senior year.
Just a prime-time performer in basketball and football, just able to make plays for us every year that he's been here at Unity, and yeah, just honestly a humble guy when you really talk to him. You're talking about the feats he has on the athletic field. A lot of people would just be braggadocious about all that, but he's just a really nonchalant guy, and we're glad to have him.
And Luke, another senior that we want to mention here is Landon Groover. We talked about him and his key role on the line tonight and throughout the course of the season for the Unity Lions. Did a great job again tonight.
Oh yeah, Landon Groover, truly a legend in our class, a great guy. He's actually a big fan of the Yellow Jackets coming up on the radio.
Oh, I like him even more now, man.
Yeah, and we're looking forward possibly to a big little post state championship party at his house in the future, hopefully.
And then also we'll recognize number 53, Wyatt Crowley.
Wyatt Crowley, yep. He actually joined the team this last year, his junior year. He's just a really funny guy, just a fun guy to be around all hours of the day. And I'm glad he was on this team.
And then a couple of guys that we've talked a lot throughout the broadcast and you've gotten to know over the last few years if you're a Unity Lions fan in a big way, but we'll talk about big number 72, Elliott Whiteside.
Oh, yeah, Elliott Whiteside. I remember playing him in middle school football. I'd line up against him in practice, and he would just pancake me, just run through me every single practice. And I'd be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Because Elliott Whiteside, just a strong human being. Just like, if you need something moved, you know who to call, Elliott Whiteside. If you need a quarterback sacked, Elliott Whiteside, you know who to call. Just a great guy.
And then number 73, Davis Blankenship, also a senior this year.
Oh, yeah, Davis Blankenship. There's a tradition that we have at Unity where we go on a senior retreat where you get closer with your class and everything. And he was in my team for senior retreat. And we didn't have the result we wanted in that senior retreat. But he was a great leader on that team and a great leader in our class. We call him Big D. Some people call him the Lion. He's just a true leader in the class and a true, spiritual midpoint for our class, I guess you could say.
And then last but not least, we'll mention the final senior of the, I believe, 6 that Unity has this year, number 80, Joel Sims.
Yeah, Joel Sims. He's a homeschooler, actually. But I know from the guys who are on the football team that he's a great guy, leads by example, and gives me shades of Rodrigo Blankenship. He actually wears the specs, I believe, on the field with the glasses, and he wreaked havoc in the backfield. He did tonight as well.
Well, I hope we didn't leave anybody out. Definitely wanted to recognize all the seniors. And all that to say, a pretty small senior class, obviously not a huge roster in this league in terms of football, but got a lot of young talent on this team. So pick up the championship tonight, 33-13 over Lafayette Christian. But the future is bright coming up for this young Lions football team.
Very bright. Obviously, Miles Schwartz is going to be tossing them for a few more years under center, and then after him we have freshman quarterback Ben Wilson. He didn't get to play in this one, but I'm sure he's got the arm strength and he's going to make an impact on this team. And obviously we've got a great middle school program, made it to the semifinals. They're on the come up, and I think we're in for a whole lot more years of good football, of course, with Coach Humphreys.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity here to thank everybody for tuning in to the broadcast, whether you've been watching on the video or listening on the radio. I'm going to go back here and see if I can find my information about the entire crew, because I feel like we need to make sure everybody gets recognized here before we wind this broadcast down here in just a couple of moments. And it was on a group text that I'm trying to find right now. I know this is really good radio, but I really want to recognize all the folks that were involved, so I'm trying to find it real quick on the fly and make sure that I can do that. Here we go. I think I've got it. All right, so we've got press box cameras, Clay Hardiker, and also Afton Taylor. Sideline camera was, I believe, Levi Miller. We may get a check on that in just a little bit. Replay was David Corbin, and then Nathan Patterson was the director here tonight as a part of the crew. Nathan, if I left anybody out, please let me know before we wrap up. But I do want to take an opportunity to thank Lynn Butler back at the studio, who's run the breaks during the radio broadcast tonight. He's been with us for a long time, been doing stuff at the radio station back since the 1980s in a couple of different stints, and he is always super reliable, does a good job for us, and we really appreciate that. But last but not least tonight, I want to thank my partner in crime here tonight, Luke Reynolds. Man, you added so much to the broadcast tonight. I've had the opportunity to talk to you on the radio in the past because over the summer you did sort of internship with us and came out and did some sports talk with us and things of that nature. So I knew you were comfortable on the mic, but my goodness, your knowledge of not just the game but the players and the color that you filled in throughout the broadcast made it really good, and I appreciate it, man. You did a great job.
Thank you, sir. I was happy to do it. I was thinking my season was over after the playoff game, and then I got the call. I was ready.
Well, I could tell it, man, and I was super excited that you were available. I knew you'd be making the trek down here and would be willing to do it. But it's been a lot of fun working with you, and great job.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I hope you stay at it, and I hope if you're in town, once you get past your days at Unity, that you'll jump on the mic with us from time to time at WLAQ.
We'll just have to see.
All right. Well, I think that's going to cover all of that, and we appreciate people tuning in to the broadcast tonight. It was fun, again, partnering up with Northwest Georgia Media, and this is going to wrap up the football coverage for the year, I believe, for Northwest Georgia Media. I don't think there's anywhere else we can go, and also for WLAQ. And, again, just want to take this opportunity to thank Unity Christian School for the opportunity to be here tonight and congratulate Unity Christian Lions on a 33-13 victory over the Lafayette Christian Cougars. And now they get to celebrate picking up the championship in the GAPPS AA 9-man football state championship. Congratulations, Coach Humphreys and team. That's going to put a wrap on our broadcast. For Luke Reynolds, I'm Matt Davis from Northgate High School in Newnan, Georgia. We're going to pack it up and head back home. Congratulations to Unity state championships, state champions tonight. Puts a wrap on the broadcast. So long, everybody. We're going to get you over here in just a couple of moments to Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets football, and I'm going to see, I think they're going to be loading up the log right now. So long, everybody. Have a great night. Georgia Tech on the radio end. Good night, everybody.